All right, here we go. We should be broadcasting. This is Rob's Nerdy Knives Monday night live stream. So let's see if we're good to go for the broadcast. And if you are, why don't you comment down below and let me know. I'm going to see if it does go. It looks like it is. All right. Okay, good. Looks like the audio is pretty good. Before I was a little delayed in the syncing of the audio. So how does it look? Does my lip seem in sync with what you're hearing? I hope. All right, let's see, who do we have tonight? Hey, just Nate. I don't know if you just joined. Carco, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys joining tonight. I am going to just go over here so I can get a count while we're doing this. We are getting on top of this technology. I'm getting there. I'm getting better, I promise. So I'm going to go over here and just see the live stream and make sure it's muted. Okay, it is. Make sure this is on Do Not Disturb. Good. All right, what do we have? We have 6 people in stream so far. So welcome this evening. Got a little audio on here to listen to tonight to kind of monitor everything. So welcome to everybody. And a little closer, a little different setup here. This is an actual DSLR. I can't talk. A DSLR right here. That's my camera. I've actually got it hooked up. I finally figured out how to capture the video out of there. So I feel like I accomplished something. How is everybody tonight? Let's see here. We got just Nate. Welcome. Carco, I said hello already. Good. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Broke-Ass Knives, welcome, welcome. Tyler Williams, greetings. Patrick Dune, welcome and cheers. Yeah, definitely. So how is everybody tonight? How are you guys doing this evening? Good? So tonight, I'm actually a little different setup yet again. I don't know if you can see the lights behind me are a little brighter. Hopefully they highlight things a little bit better. And I don't know if you can see the desk a little bit better as well. The light should be a little brighter on here. It seems a little dark though, but you know, yeah, well, I'm still learning, you know. Hey, I got it working, so that's the good thing, right? Autumn Wind, welcome. Good evening to you, sir. Cheeto Bandito, welcome. Yo, Robbie, yeah, welcome. Yo, Cheeto Bandito, welcome this evening. Appreciate you being here tonight. How is everyone? How is your Monday? How is your Independence weekend? I mean, some of you guys like me, I had to work today. All my family was off. They were out there having fun, relaxing, and in here I was working. So, you know, as life. I'm off tomorrow, so I guess that's a good thing. I do like that. Can you hear any ambient noise, by the way? Matt D, welcome. Good evening to you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining the Monday Night Live. We're just hanging out and talking knives and just kind of, you know, chill. And we had a big weekend big week last week. That was fun. Appreciate everyone who was there. A lot of you guys I see that were here last week, so I appreciate you being back. So thank you. Thank you to all of you. Today is your Friday, Cheeto Bandito. Oh, that's awesome. So that means you're off tomorrow. And I'm assuming you're going to be off maybe after the 4th of July. So you're off the 4th and the 5th at least, maybe, I hope. It was good enough. I can sympathize with that. I understand. That's a good summary. Yeah, definitely. It was good enough. What can you say? That's cool. Yeah. Well, I got to go back to work on Wednesday, unfortunately. So I'm only get one day off, unless I took some time off. I do have a lot of PTO hours I need to take. Problem is I got a lot of work to do. And once I take those, I always end up working extra. So I don't know. Hey, Patrick, welcome. You are picking in the sun, removing my stubborn dead bush. Oh man, the roots didn't agree with the whole dead thing. So did you try to get the car out and try to pull it out? Were you just digging deep and cutting roots and stuff? Or what were you doing? Did you have to get a chainsaw out? I mean, that can be a big thing depending on how deep those roots are and how thick those roots are. That's a, you know, I don't know if you're ever in Texas, you know about prickly pears. Those roots go way deep. It's like a weed you can almost never get rid of. If you plant a prickly pear and it looks really cool and you think it's a Pretty Texas cactus. Oh man, you don't want to do that because they never go away. Never. All right, what do we got here? We got 11 now. So welcome everybody. Good evening. Appreciate you guys all joining tonight. Customer's house. Oh, so you were taking out there. Oh man, that's even worse because then they're watching you probably, right? Oh, I hate that, especially if I'm working on something and people are watching. That's when you get a little self-conscious, right? And you start thinking about it. At least I do. Maybe not you, but I do. Just Nate, welcome. Appreciate you being here tonight. Welcome. So, you know, tonight's topic, I don't know if you all saw that. Tonight's topic, let me get back over there. I'm going to actually pull it up if I can. Tonight's topic is, what's your biggest scare or scariest knife purchase to date? All right, so what's your biggest or scariest knife purchase to date? So be thinking about that. If you got any ideas, you know, tell me what are your biggest or scariest knife purchase to date? Do you have anything like that? Just kind of curious where you all stand. Oh, just with friends. All right. Nice kazoo. Yes, we got the USA kazoo here, right? Let's get another camera. Here we go. Make sure we get focused. Come on now. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on here, so I have to. There we go. Look at that, USA part number 0819. This looks just like something you would find in an antique store, doesn't it? I like that. It's kind of authentic. And then, of course, this one here, which apparently I seem to be able to play a little bit better every time I play it, which is kind of weird, but that's interesting. So, it sounds like you got it out, though, but that's good. That's good. Anybody have any plans for your 4th of July, Independence Day? Gonna go see some nice fireworks? You're gonna light some fireworks? I mean, depending on where you're at, some of you guys probably can't fire any fireworks, but in Texas, as long as you're out of the city limits and there's no fire ban, you can shoot them away. So there'll probably be a lot of fireworks in our neighborhood or pretty close to our neighborhood. I have some friends who are actually playing in a Independence Band concert for the 4th of July. Yeah. One of my son's music instructors, they're going to be playing a bunch of patriotic 4th of July Independence music. So it's going to be kind of a fun evening, you know. Probably have a lot of hot dogs, hamburgers, and fireworks and stuff. So if you want to go downtown, I guess that would be something fun. AD Plexus, probably my craziest purchase. Your AD Plexus, okay. You know what? I think I might have to look that one up. I'm going to real quick pull up the keyboard here. Oops. And let me look at that up if you don't mind, because I am curious about that. AD Plexus. I'd like to take a look at that. Well, that's not quite what I was looking for. I guess I got to put knife in the end of there. It's not going to know what I'm talking about. Oh, the arcane design. Yeah. Okay. That one's with the really big hollow grind. Yeah. Here, I'll bring it over here. So this is the plexus right here. I think so. Let's do this. We'll go over here and see if we can find a plexus. That's the Praetheon. Here we are. Here's the plexus. Well, you know what? That's probably just the Zerkatite kits, I think. All right, but this is the knife. You can definitely see the knife here. That's not a little knife either. If I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can go back on that. And do we have, are they selling any of the plexuses? Are they all sold out already? See if I can find one. Yeah. A lot of these look like they're for the Praetheon, and I don't see any of the plexus. That's a bummer. Oh, wait, load more. Hold on. There's more in the channel list, maybe? No, it's just shirts and stuff. All right. Yeah, but that's a pretty big knife, right? Oh, you bought it on Blade Forums. Yeah, Blade Forums can be interesting. You can get some really great deals on there. I've sold 40 knives on there at least, maybe more. So, I mean, you can get some great deals. And, I have a 100% rating, which is really important to me. So, that's something I value. And I always want to make sure everybody knows that that's really important. But you can get some really interesting people. I remember one guy was trying to sell a Strider, and everybody called it out immediately. It's like, that doesn't look like a real Strider, It's like, that one looks a little kind of iffy, right? So, yeah, there's that. Oh, kept changing the day that he said he was going to ship it. Oh, that's not cool. That is not cool. 2 weeks. That's a long time. That is a long time to ship, though. That's not cool. I don't know. Yeah, when I sell a knife, I usually ship it the next day, unless it's a weekend or a holiday. Then you can't do it. Or I tell them, I'm saying, hey, I'm super busy at work. Oh, wow, look at that. You can see me infinitely all the way back there. Let's go back there. That was kind of weird, huh? Let's go back to the desk. It's like a whole lot of me. I don't know if you want that. I didn't want that. But that's not cool, doing that. I don't like that. It was. I just got that GEC 86 oil fill. Okay, yeah. So he probably lathered it up, huh? All right. You were typing with my phone. Yeah, I understand that. Hey, I do most of my streams. If I'm not hosting, right? I do all of my communication via my phone. So I totally understand. Use what you got. That's fine. All right. So, they're really hard to find. Yeah, I know. There were. I almost bought one, but I wasn't sure about it. It was one of those I was kind of like, it looks cool, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. It wasn't really the kind of knife that I'm really into, right? So, it's like it'd be cool, but would I love it, right? And it's not one of those. It's a big purchase for something you just want to try and see if you like. You really want to love it, and you make that kind of purchase, I think. And if you loved it, go for it. I like the Praytheon a lot. Everything was great about the Praytheon. It's just a hair too small for me. That was my only issue with it. That one had been just a hair a little bit bigger. It'd have been perfect. Oh, a Heretic Protos. Oh, yeah. Those could be crazy. All right. The Dalibor and then Elishewitz. All right. That's cool. Yeah, 8.3. That's a big one. And I know the Plexus is a pretty big one. That I did see that. So the Dalibor, am I saying it correctly? Dalibor. I'm not sure. Dalibor, secondary, takes the scariest slot by far. Okay. Now, Karko, why was the Dalibor the scariest? I'm kind of curious. Now I got to look for that. So, Dalibor knife. Yeah, I don't have the keyboard right here because this new camera setup, this is a new camera right up here, and I've got to move it forward, but I want it to get ready for the stream, and so I didn't get a chance to make a little room right here for my keyboard, so I'm having to type off to the side there a little bit. All right, so where's the Dal? Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. That is a big knife, if I'm seeing this correctly. Okay, so let me jump over here real quick. Oh, you didn't want to see that? Wrong button. All right, the Dalibor. Okay, so it looks like we click on here. Yeah. This looks like it's a full custom. Definitely looks like a full custom. I bet that was not a cheap knife. So, all right. So, Patrick, you're doing some fireworks. That's awesome. Awesome. Low vouch count guy. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you bought a very custom risky knife from a low vouch kind of purchase. That I understand is scary. Yeah. When you buy something like that, you really want them to be reliable. You want them to have at least 15, 20 reviews, maybe 10. 10, I can go with 10. 5. Now I'll do 5 if they're really good reviews. Like, they sold a $300, $500, $600 knife or something, and the other person gave a really good review, and that person has bought a lot of knives or something, then that adds weight to it, right? The 5, if it's bought from people who have a lot of reviews themselves, that adds to their 5. If it's 10, all that bolsters up, at least for me. That was the priciest. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. 2 weeks. I still can't believe that 2 weeks. Yeah, I know. I know. Right. Carco, 2 weeks. This is crazy. It would make me question seriously, right? You're watching in the past. Okay. I do that sometimes. I'm a little behind, right? You got a quartermaster. Oh, and Hannibal in trade. Okay. That's cool. So quartermaster Hannibal. I gotta get this keyboard working a little better. See if I'm spelling that right. Is that quartermaster knife? Yeah, here we are. Let's see. Nope, not getting anything there. Well, okay, let's do blade ops, see if they have it. That is a crazy looking knife. Wow. That's got some interesting ergonomics on there. It's definitely cool and unique. I like the dual grind, a really kind of a huge swedge in the back there. 3 studs, thumb stud deployment, looks like. That is amazing. It's a frame lock. Deep pocket carry, man. I mean, that one is definitely, you're not going to drop that one, I don't think. Is that the right one? Am I pulling up the right one? Is it? It's pretty close? Okay. The Halo 5 about 10 years ago or so, and you were sold it about 2 years ago for the same price. Well, hey, at least you recovered. You selling a knife for the same price, I think, is always a good deal. I mean, it's almost like you got to have a knife for a while for free. You know, you get to hold on to it. I mean, granted, probably prices of the knives go up, and so it appreciates a little bit and gets a little more value to it. So that's nice, but at least you don't feel like you're losing anything. The worst is when you buy a knife that you think is really cool. You're super excited about it. And then everybody, it's just not as popular. And then you got to sell it and you're like, I'm taking a huge loss. I've done that where I take a 50% loss. I hate that. I realize I'm going to take losses on some of them. You know, if the user knives that I have, I absolutely know I'm going to take a loss because if I'm using them, yeah, it's going to percentage wise, depending on how much I use them, definitely, right? But if it's one that you just didn't carry and it was like in mint condition, you hate to take a huge loss on those. So that is really crazy. So let's look that Halo up there. And that's called the Halo 5, right? Is that what you're saying? These are some knives I actually have never heard of. And kind of interesting to see some of the designs out there, right? All right, let's see if eBay has it. It looked like they talked a little bit about it. Is it loading? Did I not click it? Let's see. Nope, there's nothing there. It's not a micro. Is it a Microtech Halo 5? Is it one of these? The Halo 5 from Microtech? Wow, 4.6-inch blade? That's huge. Oh, wait a second. Is this a single action OTF? I have to ask, is that a single action OTF? A foot long. Wow. Let's see here. Microtalk, big, powerful. That's the biggest difference. Let's see here. 11 inches. Dang, that's big. Pretty thick blade. Yeah. I don't know if it says, is it overall LMAX? Let's see here. Tonto. Let's see. Aluminum black. Single action OTF. Yeah, it looks like a single action OTF. Yeah, those are the ones. Now, if you guys don't know, some of you guys may know the difference between a dual action and a single action OTF. There's a big difference, right? So a single action or dual action OTF, just like this right here. So let's pull up. This is the live wire, right? This is the little Kershaw live wire, which is a great little inexpensive OTF. I think this is the best value for the money, right? So this little guy right here, I'll zoom in on, I'll do a full me. So here we go. So this is the live wire, right? And this is a dual action. So when you pull it back, it closes and it opens. A single action, you pull it back and it locks it. And when you press the button, it shoots out. Okay. And when it shoots out, it can go through things. Okay. Some of them are meant to be they can go through stuff. All right, they can impale into wood. They could, if you have one of these go off, it could go in and through your hand. Theoretically, some of them, depending on how strong that spring and that action is on it. Right. So I have to ask you, that Halo 5, what was the action? That single action, was it really strong? I mean, is it one that you could, you put it up to some leather, it could shoot right through the leather? I'm just kind of curious. It's almost a foot long. I still can't get over that. It's a foot long. That's huge. That's just huge. Didn't get any pocket time. You have to have some big pants for the pocket time. You would need like some of those cargo pants, right? With the really long pockets to be able to get that in your pockets. I mean, that's almost like you could sling it on your back and be like a sword, right? I mean, maybe, but probably not. You had the Paragon and the Heretic single action. I've never actually had that. Okay, so yeah, I remember MC talking Metal Complex. He would talk about that one, and he showed how strong those are. Those are, yeah, like this right here. If I go up against like some cardboard, you hit that, it'll go off its track and it won't go through. I mean, it might poke a little bit. It's got a sharp enough tip, right? So if you did it, it'd stick in you, but it's not going to go through your hand, right? It still wouldn't be comfortable, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so you had the Heretic and the Paragons, because I know, Carco, you were curious if you had any other single action. I am curious too. I don't know what you guys, if anybody else has had any single action. Hey, Me With Knives, welcome. Appreciate you being here this evening. Yeah, we are just kind of talking about, well, the big question tonight is going to be, topic, what's your biggest or scariest purchase to date? What's your biggest or scariest purchase to date? So what is it? Do you have something that you bought that was either risky, you were unsure of, it was monumental, like it was a massive grail, a lot of money? Maybe it was something you weren't sure if you were going to get it. It was kind of like, yeah, look, the deal's too good to be true, but it was a big investment of money. That's kind of the question. What's up, Me With Knives? What's everybody's biggest folder? So you got the Rough Rider Giant Warnie. Yeah, that's not a little guy. You're right. That is certainly not a little guy for sure. Hey, Chris Howell, welcome. Appreciate you being here this evening. Welcome. Thanks for joining Monday Night Live. We are just having a good time talking. So, if you didn't hear the question already, it's, what's your biggest or scariest purchase to date? So think about that. Let that mull over in your head and think about it. If you got something that comes up, and it could be more than one thing, right? One could be scariest, one could be biggest. You could have two different things, right? One could be a combination of the two. Negative on the leather. Okay. All right. So I guess that's good. Yeah. Even though with the single action, because I thought MC, he had one that was single action and he felt it could go through because it was really strong. So I don't know which one that is. I mean, I'm sure he has more than one. I have no doubt, but I'm not sure which one that is. Hey, Trevor Crystal, welcome. Appreciate you being here this evening. Spyderco Paysan, the Paysan. Yeah, that is a cool knife. Let's look that up, because I think if I'm trying to think of which one that one is, that's the Paysan knife. I'm trying to type sideways because I can't put the keyboard right here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like a $644 knife. Wow. Okay, so let's flip over there so you can get a look at it. So here it is. This is the Paysan. That is a nice knife. And I believe it's a frame lock, right? Yeah, it's a frame lock. Oh, and it does that have a steel bar insert? Does that actually have a steel bar insert? Because it looks like it's a steel bar insert over travel stop, which is unusual because most Spyderco frame locks tend to be just, titanium that's carbonized against the tang of the blade. So that's kind of cool. The Trudon. That is the one, Combat Trudon. That's the one MC has, right? Doesn't he have a Combat Trudon? I think that's one of the ones he has. I think he has a couple, but I know that's one of the ones I've heard talk about because that sounds familiar. I've heard about that one before. The Quartermaster's 11 and 11 and man, those are some big knives. I actually had a chance this week to, I don't know if you saw it. I did the Recon 1 and I thought that was gargantuan. Okay. That's not a small knife. That is a pretty big knife. But I don't really go much bigger than that. I have a couple of, I've got a couple of big knives. I mean, my Exciton, it's not big. It's just long, right? So there's the Exciton. That one's pretty long. It's almost 8.5, 8 3/4 inches, but it's not a big knife like those, right? It's just long. I would say right now, like even my Sharp by Design, this one right here, the Evo Typhoon. Well, you can't see it there. Sorry, I thought I had the screen up. The Evo Typhoon. That one I think is pretty cool. So the Evo Typhoon, but I don't have gigantic knives. It's not one of those things that's in my collection. 8 inches, 8.5 inches is about as big as the knives I collect because that's about what I carry and use, right? But I don't mind checking them out because I think they're really, really cool. The SOCOM Elite, yeah. Well, I did have an Annex. I sold that one to Beard of Doom, and I liked it. It's just too big, right? I love that Annex. It was just too big. That's a big boy. I mean, it was fun, but it was just too big for me. A Voyager XL, okay. Man, I get another knife I have not heard about. Now I got to look that one up. Voyager XL. All right, so I kind of, when I see something I don't know, I want to know a little bit about it. So Voyager. I'm typing sideways, so it's kind of weird. Oh, it's a cold steel, of course. Of course, it's a cold steel. It's got to be gigantic. It's probably like the big brother to the Recon 1, right? Makes the Recon 1 look like a pocket knife or a 5th pocket knife. Let's take a look. Oh, that's eBay. Yeah, I don't like going to eBay, but all right. Let's see, do they have it somewhere else where I can look? All right, hey, let's go straight to cold steel. Oh, hey, there you go. Do you have one with the kind of the Voyager with the crisp blade? That's a little different. I don't know. That's pretty wild. Let's see. Making sure I go back over here. Yeah, the feed's good. All right, good. Just want to make sure that all looks good. The Spyderco Manix 2. Oh, hey, you got yourself a Spyderco Manix 2. Very cool. Which steel did you get in that Spyderco Manix 2? Did you get the S110, S30? Did you get another kind of a premium steel? Kind of curious. A GEC 71 and the Leatherman Surge. Okay, the Leatherman Surge is nice. I actually have the TTI or whatever it is, the titanium one. I really like that one. I have two now. I have the rebar that I keep in my car, and then I have this other one. I like those two. Matter of fact, I was using it last night to install some things out in the patio. Yeah, the Paysan does look really nice. Is the action as sweet as us? Is it okay? So is that one on phosphor bronze or is it on cage ceramic ball bearings? I'm kind of curious. What is it? What does it run on? You know? Nuga Knives. Are you talking about who ended up buying? Are you asking me or are you asking somebody else here? Because I did buy something. And that's kind of why I asked the question. The CRK large Sabenza. Yeah, that is a big one. With the Bog Oak inlay. Okay. Bog Oak. So is Bog Oak, I imagine that would be like a really dark oak, right? S45 VN steel. Okay. And still having two girls in high school. I have two twin boys in high school, so I understand. I feel your plight. I understand that. You got a drop point version of the XL. All right, very cool. Let's see here. Did I make sure I said hello to everybody who's joined? Hey, pizza operator, welcome. Welcome, pizza operator. Appreciate you joining us tonight. So our big topic for tonight, pizza operator, if you're curious, if you just joined us, it's what's your scariest or biggest purchase to date. It's kind of like you can mull it over. Think about it. Maybe you're about to make it. Are you about to make it? Maybe, right? Maybe you've already made it. You're waiting for it, right? So who knows? Oh, it's a Canadian retailer. Okay. CPM S30V for the Mannix. That's still a good steal. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's S30V, S30V. The thing about Spyderco's heat treat, everyone knows this, right? But if others who don't know about this, Spyderco is probably one of the best heat treat as far as production knives. They really do an outstanding job. I mean, if you want to trust someone's heat treat, I would say go to Spyderco. I happen to have. Do I not have it out? No, I don't have it out. So I have the paramilitary para 3. Sorry, the para 3 here, and this is an S. Actually, let's jump over to that. All right, so here we go. So this right here is. Can y'all see that? I'll focus in on it. Oh, going wrong way. S45VN steel, right? So that's their steel right there. And I think they do an outstanding job on that. Oop, a little too far out. All right. So if you just joined me, I actually have my camera working, right? I've got it hooked up. So this is the first night with my DSLR actually working. So I'm trying to figure out the kinks out of that. So this is not that little software now, because I noticed when I went back and looked at the video, it made things look kind of weird. And I think this is going to look a little bit better. So hopefully that works. But yeah, so their heat treat is great. So this is S110V steel right here. S110, can we get that in there? S110. Their heat treat is phenomenal. And I tell you, when I was stropping this, I could tell this S110, which is supposed to be typically a very hard steel, and it's very, very great steel for edge retention. That's fantastic, just fantastic. All right, so I'm going to catch up here. Girls in college. All right. Norseman. Oh, somebody bought a Norseman. Norseman. That's not a little purchase. That's a serious purchase when you buy a Norseman. Now, at first, when I saw the Norseman, the ones that I saw, I was not a fan. But then I saw there are variants that they're pretty nice. Yeah. So, you can get different versions, right? You're not limited to one style. And, but that is definitely an investment. Oh, you got it at the Maker Syndicate. Okay. Oh, they didn't do S30 well? Yeah, it must have been a long time ago, because for a while they've done it well. Are we talking like a decade ago or more or something? Or is that recently? Because everything I've bought in the last several years, seems to be really good, me with knives. I'm just curious if you know. Your Arcane Crawler. Hey, that's a big purchase, right? Arcane Crawler is definitely that's a nice knife. So when I say scariest and biggest purchase, there's not a level that I have set, right? I'm not saying this is how much it has to be. This is what. No, whatever your biggest purchase, I can tell you, when I bought my first nice knife, my biggest, scariest purchase was a Benchmade Mini Barrage at Cabela's for $98. That was my biggest, scariest purchase I remember making back then. I couldn't imagine spending $100 on, and it was $98 because it was on sale. It's supposed to be 105 or 110. And I thought, a knife over $100? Do people buy knives over $100? Really? I know, we all laugh at that now, right? But anyways, yes, they do, obviously. A CRK. So I actually had an Umnumzan. I like the Umnumzan, beautiful knife. If I was going to have one, it would be the Umnumzan. The only thing that kept me from keeping the Umnumzan, I couldn't tune the detent. My detent was way too strong, and it has that radial frame lock, right? So what I mean by that is when you have access to the frame lock right here, it's got a sharp edge to it. When I put my finger in there, and with it being so stiff on the one I had, I couldn't. I ended up selling it, but I lost absolutely nothing on it. I sold it for what I paid. All right. So, oh, I see Tactile. We talking about Tactile, Tactile Knife Company? Oh, wait, no, you got it from Tactical Terry. Let me put a lynch clip on there. Okay. So I must miss something. So what is the list you guys are talking about? I got to go back. It must be, is that the same list for the Norseman or something? Is that like a waiting list or something? Or is it something else? You got it from Tactical Terry. Now, is that a guy who like customizes or mods knives? Like, I don't know everybody in the community. I feel bad. I should. It'd be nice to know him, but. Oh, you got the Custom Knife Factory Snafu 3.0. That's cool. $250 now, it drops to $450. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, make my day. Welcome. Appreciate you being here this evening. We're just talking knives. The topic for tonight is what's your biggest or scariest purchase to date? Mull it over, think about it. It could be two knives, two separate purchases. It could be one purchase. It could be a series of purchases. I talked about my very first, biggest, scariest purchase for me was my Benchmade Mini Barrage. I bought at Cabela's. It's a $105, $110 knife. I paid $98 because it was on sale. I couldn't imagine spending $100 on a knife. That was insane. Yeah, and we all laugh now, right? That was 8 years ago. Okay. Oh, they ran at 58, 60? Really? Wow. Well, I'm glad they fixed that. I know at the last Blade show, they were talking about that's one of their big pushes is their heat treat, like the Magna Cut. They are rocking it on the Magna Cut. They only have a couple of them right now. I'm sure more is coming, but they're definitely doing the 63, 64 in the Magna Cut. So that's cool. Yeah, regretting passing on the Norseman now. Yeah, there's a lot of knives that I think we all look back on and we can say with the prices and where they are. There's probably a lot of opportunity for knives that it would have been nice to have bought earlier, especially those that have appreciated it quite a lot. So that, I mean, yeah, if we had 2020 hindsight, yeah, there'd be a lot of knives I'd buy, right? And some I'd hold on to for just a little bit longer. Oh, he does shipwrecking. Okay, that's cool. Oh, it comes up on their website fairly often. That's cool. The Rasks. Okay, so the Rask. Hey, Robert, welcome. Appreciate you being here tonight. Right on. We are just talking knives. The topic for tonight, and mull it over, think about it. What is your biggest or scariest purchase to date? People talking about Norsemen, people talking about some arcane knives. I mentioned my very first knife that I bought 4 or 5 years ago. That was a big purchase. I had a CRKT and I had a Gerber. Those are my two knives I had before. And I bought a Benchmade Mini Barrage. It was $105, $110. I paid $98 for it. It was on sale. I couldn't imagine spending $100. I've since eclipsed that, right? This week I made a purchase that has blown that out of the water. And it's coming in probably Wednesday. I was hoping it'd come in today, but it didn't. Jelly in your whippersnapper. Yeah, so that was my biggest purchase to date, this one right here. And I got to tell you, I don't know did you see the short where I think I got a really nice light on there and you can sort of see it in the light. I mean, when you see this in the sun and it looks like almost like amber jewels, it is the craziest thing. I don't know how they do their gold fat carbon. It's some sort of voodoo magic. They do. I mean, I don't know. Olamic Customs must do some sort of voodoo magic. And I think a lot of people can attest to that. But that is the best fat carbon I have ever seen anybody do. I mean, that even outdoes Riot's fat carbon. That for a while, I thought that was the best fat carbon anybody did. No, they blow that out of the water. The Koenig Arius. Wow. Yeah. That is one of those knives I would love to try. But they're so hard to find. The Koenig Arius, just like Shirgorov, and what's the other one? The Hermans, right? Now the Hermans are more readily available, but they're pricey. You've got to want to buy those. It's a lot of money. I know. When I tell you what I bought this week, you'll all laugh at why that I'm even saying that, because yeah, I could have probably gotten the Herman. Anyways, let's let me look up that knife there that you were talking about, the Rasks. I'm kind of curious about that one. That name sounds familiar, but I'm not visualizing. I'm not seeing it. So let me look that up here. Rasks knife. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, that's the Grismo one. That's the one I like. Yeah. Okay. That, that almost looks like a Herman too. Here, let me pop that over. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it. Okay. I'm not saying it's a Herman. I wouldn't insult Grismo, and I wouldn't insult Herman, because they're each very unique. I get it. Two totally different knives, right? But it has a little bit of that quality look, I think. There's a very fine aesthetic that I think I like there. They're very different, but it's definitely, you can tell it's in that caliber of Herman, right? So that's cool. Yeah, I like that one. This is one when all I thought was when I thought Grismos, all they were those weird shaped blades. And then I saw this and I was like, I like those. I was like, there's more. And you probably all knew that. I didn't. Oh, you found Zabofli. Am I saying that right? Zabofli? That's crazy. I've never heard that. Man, you guys are coming up with knives I have never heard of. Oh, it does look great in the sun. Absolutely. Yes. That is absolutely gorgeous. Yes, I agree. The Arius, man. I know. I still want to check out an Arius. I really do. And isn't Arius coming out with a little one? And I think, well, when we say little, I mean, it's going to be like 7.5 inches, which is like the perfect size for a small EDC knife if you want to carry it. I think because the Arius is like 8.5, almost 9 inches, right? Maybe in the near future. Patrick, hey, go for it, man. You have to tell me how you like it, what you think about it, because I don't need much, but I could use a little convincing on that one. I'm not saying it would take a lot, but wouldn't hurt. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. So they had some Ariuses that were selling for like $6.95. That I can do, right? Because that's a carry price. And you know me, no one has to be this. Some people collect to collect, and that's absolutely fine. I have no issues with that. You collect to collect. You collect it because you're an enthusiast. Totally cool with that. For me, just for me, I collect because I use all my knives, right? But I'm not a user beater. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go out and try to break the tip and bang and cut logs with it, right? But I carry them. I like to carry a knife. Now, when I carry something like this, I'm not going to go out and do yard work, right? I'm not going to do yard work with this. But I will certainly do I will certainly do other stuff, right? I will definitely be, I'll have a fifth pocket knife or something with me. I think, sorry, one of my kids was trying to get in the door, but I have it blocked off so they won't come in and interrupt. Teenage boys. Anyways, oh, they make the Norseman too. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're super meticulous. You gotta like that. You think of Brown Knives, and you think of the Roosevelt, the FSD. All those guys are just meticulous in their stuff. Olamic Customs. I think of Trevor Berger, and other people like that. They're just meticulous in their stuff. Their stuff is amazing. Hey, Danny Sims, welcome. Appreciate you being here tonight. Yeah, I would love to see one of the Norsemans. I really would too, because I've heard the action is, so somebody recently, I was watching a video and they talked about how you would have, let's say, you'd have a Sebenza as far as glassy smooth, right, on one side, and then you would have the Norseman, the Grismo, whatever, on one side, and then they had some knife that they felt like was right in the middle. So apparently that's like a super, super smooth knife. Oh, it was a Herman. It was like the Herman. I think Tri-State was the one who was talking about that. He was reviewing the action on his little Warney Herman that he bought. So. Oh, you almost bought the one that Tri-State got? We're just speaking about that. That's funny, Patrick. That's hilarious. Oh, so you got the Hinder. Now, which Hinder did you get? I've had a Jurassic and wasn't super. I mean, I bought it because everyone was supposed to have a Hinder. And so I bought the Hinder because I was supposed to buy it. It wasn't for me. Now, the Hinder that I would like to get is the one that only they make every few years. And so the next time I'm going to get a chance to buy it, it's probably going to be about 2-3 years from now. It's the Maximus. That's the one I want. I know it looks like a dagger, but the action, I actually got to handle that. I was at a store, the Blade Bar in Fort Worth, and they had 2 of them. And I was so tempted to buy it. And I said, oh, no, I don't need. I regret it. That's another one of those I regret I passed up on it, right? That's funny. I think that's hilarious. Oh, your Umnuzon's shifted to the left, huh? That's interesting. That's unusual. That is unusual. Was the pivot loose? Or I mean, that's all I can think of is maybe the pivot was loose. Had it been disassembled and things weren't set correctly. Sometimes, if you take your knife apart and you do maintenance, I've actually experienced this now several times, and it's really quite amazing. And I can't believe I never thought of it. But you get a knife, you take it apart, you put it back together, and it's not dead center. It's not totally centered, and you're kind of like wondering what's going on. Well, one thing that really works great is just take it apart, put it back together again. Just take it apart and put it back together again. You'd be surprised that for me has now, I want to say 9 out of the last 10 times fixed everything. And that's all I did. I don't know. It just took it apart and I put it back together and it fixed it. And yeah. Yeah, so you disassembled it. Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes disassembling it again and reassembling it fixes it, It's crazy how that can be. For some reason, something didn't set right. Maybe there was a little piece of, like, if you had Loctite got stuck in a screw. I don't know what it is. I'm just guessing here, right? But sometimes something like that, it's just not really set well, and that fixes it. DLT trading. All right. I like DLT trading. Yeah, I know he doesn't Cole get upset? It's so hilarious. Yeah, and there's a couple of people too that seem to do it pretty regularly to him. I love it. I think it's funny. I get a laugh out of it, but I think that is hilarious. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that. You did get a Jurassic slicer? The one I had was the Battle Blue, right? The Battle Blue, but I had it with the titanium scales, and I replaced the G10 scale. It was really nice. I liked it. But the one I want, it wasn't the perfect fit for my hand, and I realized it's okay. There are other knives that I like more. I appreciate it. Like we always say, I can appreciate those knives. I can appreciate the quality. And just because, it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for anybody else, right? It's maybe that particular knife may not be my cup of tea. And sometimes it can be just certain things in the configuration, right? Like some of the XM18s, there's a few variants of them that are very appealing to me, but they're hard to find, right? Some of them, like just the flipper ones, or the ones that they have a bigger finger choil or something like that. I like those. They've been more appealing to me, if you will, than some of the other XM18s. Oh, you live 5 hours from DLT. Yeah, absolutely, just Nate. You should go, man. I would go. That's really cool. I like to go to the Blade Bar in Dallas. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and it's worth it. They have 2 stores up in Dallas and in the other one's in Arlington, I think. Fort Worth. Fort Worth, and it's not. Is it Richardson? I don't know. It's North Dallas area. We call Dallas Fort Worth area the Metroplex area, right? There's a whole bunch of cities around there. If anybody's from Texas. So when you say Dallas Fort Worth, I mean, it could be Arlington, Burnet, it could be Plano, it could be Richardson, it could be, there's just a bunch of cities around. That's really cool. Hey, welcome, Kevy Kev. Appreciate you being here, man. Welcome this evening. Tonight, we are talking about what is your scariest or biggest purchase to date. And I mean, people talking about Norseman. We've talked about some Arcane, some Umnumzons. We've talked about some some crazy knives. I mentioned like one of my first big knives that I've ever bought was, now get this, it's kind of, we can laugh about it now, but it was a Benchmade mini barrage. I bought it from Cabela's. It was a $110 knife, $510 knife, and I bought it on sale for $98. And after tax, it was like a $100 knife. I never thought I'd buy a knife for $100. I thought that was insane. Who buys a knife for $100? I did, and it was awesome. You know, and it started the whole thing. Obviously, it was the gateway drug, if you will. We'll have to have that for one night. What's your gateway knife for getting into the hobby? I'm sure everyone has a good story. Oh, they live in Garland? Yeah, that's up by Dallas Metroplex area too, right? It's up by Plano. Garland's up near Plano. It's more north, east, northwest. Well, it's middle. I mean, if you talk about Dallas Fort Worth area, it's more northeast. But if you're in Dallas, then it's northwest, right? Oh, you lived in Rolette for a while? Yep. The PM2. Yeah, the PM2. I can relate to that. You know, I got into Benchmade and I did all the Benchmades, and then I tried a Spyderco. You know, my son, he really liked the way the Spyderco looked, and I thought they were kind of ugly, right? I didn't really like them, and I thought, I know it's going to sound crazy, but I thought it was kind of an ugly knife. Then I got a hold of one, and I get it. You know, you get the ergonomics, and you're like, yeah, that really works. That really works, and it's nice. And then you get this is the Para 3, and you get the Paramilitary 2, and next thing you know, you're going to be getting the Shaman, and then you get the Mannix, you know, and you get the Smock and all the other ones, and just keeps going. The Tenacious. Hey, did you see the new release of the Tenacious that they came out with? They have some higher end versions, like an M4 version. Looks pretty cool. In the G10 scales with M4, that looks pretty good. Because they talked, a lot of people like the Tenacious, and it was a good budget knife, and it really is. But I mean, the S30V and the M4 steel, that's a really nice alternative, I think. The Demco 20.5 titanium. Then you hit Vero. Oh, Vero Engineering. Yeah, you got those guys. That's great. And then Serge Penchenko. Oh, Serge. Man, his stuff is crazy, but it's cool. It is cool. He is very creative. I love that. It's kind of like Arcane Design, you know, some of that really crazy, awesome geometry that just works. The mini grip. Yeah, mini griptilian also. Cool. Trevor, that's awesome. Yeah, that was mine. That was my gateway. It was an orange one too. I gave it to my son. He still has it, by the way, and he still enjoys it. I wanted to give him a knife, so I gave it to him. Yeah, now you have a bunch. Yeah. I actually had a bunch of Benchmades, and then I sold almost all my Benchmades. I kept my Benchmade, bug out, the 535-4, the aluminum titanium mill scales. Love that thing. I do want to get my Adamas, my mini Adamas or Adamas back in. They're coming out with a carbon fiber version with the plain crew wear blade. I've been getting on all the wait lists, so as soon as I'm notified, that's the one I'd like to get. I want to get that back in my collection. The Yojimbo. The Yojimbo is really good. It's made by the guy who does a lot of self-tactical defense stuff. So you have the Yojimbo, the Yojumbo, and then you have the, you guys told me this before, the little one. The nano one, whatever it is called. Yeah, the nano, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, Serge is genius, no doubt. Oh, Trevor got a mini bug out. It was too small. The mini bug out I found was a little bit small. Now, it would be great for my wife. It'd be perfect size for her, I think. Perfect for her purse. But she likes Spyderco. She's a Spyderco gal. She likes them better than the Benchmade, which is fine. Both good knives, both American. I mean, I'm happy with that. She's got a little, I think hers is a ladybug. Is it a ladybug? Dragonfly? Ladybug? One of those. But it's a little S30V steel. So it's a good, solid little knife. The only thing, the mini bug out would be a great, looking back on it now that I have fifth pocket knives, if I'd kept it, it would be a fifth pocket knife. But if I was going to keep it, I would definitely have to put some titanium or some sort of scales on there. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I would want to make it, I would have to remove that elite carbon fiber, whatever, or the Elite G10 or whatever they want to call that stuff. I know. So truth be told, yeah, here I am. Surprise. I mean, that's for better or for worse, right? It's you're either going to be like, oh my God, let me turn that off, or you're going to be like, oh, that's kind of funny. So, hopefully it's the latter. You're enjoying it. The arc form slim foot. Okay, I get it. I actually got an arc form slip foot. I liked it. The problem was my clit was missing a screw. Yeah, and I noticed it before I started carrying it. And if you know how that screw sits, you need both screws because it'll slide. And it was a blacked out version. Had I carried it, I'd have stripped that thing. It'd have been ruined. So I sent it back, and I ended up not getting one. I couldn't flip it. You know that little fuller kind of a line that they have there? You can't flip it. And that, to me at the time, that was really important. And so I didn't decide to replace it. Now, I know Arcane Design, they have, not Arcane, Arcform, they have some new knives, and they've been kind of limited release on those, but I like their new knife that I've seen some pictures of. I think that one's really cool. Oh, the Mini Ritter. The Mini Ritter is really cool. I actually asked Doug Ritter, could you do one of those in the carbon fiber with the Magna Cut? That would sell. The Magna Cut Mini. I mean, come on. Who here would buy the Magna Cut Mini, Doug Ritter? I mean, everyone, do a thumbs up if you'd all buy it. I mean, I would, right? I'm going to do a thumbs up. I would do it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? The Magna Cut Mini, Doug Ritter. That's like the perfect EDC size. The big one is great. It is a great workhorse, but the Mini is just so great to carry. I think I would love it. Oh, the 22 Shot Show, the exclusive MIDI Adamas. Oh, so did you buy that one? Is that the carbon fiber one with the crew wear that was exposed? Did you get it there? For the Norman Invader, is that what you got? By the way, welcome, Norman Invader. What's the point, EDC? Welcome. I don't know if I said hello, but welcome. Did you get that one? Just Nate, did I say hello? If I didn't, hello. Is that the one you got for the Mini Adamas? Did you get that one with the carbon fiber and the crew wear exposed? I'm really curious if you did, because that's the one I want to get. That's the one I really want. It's slightly heavier than Bug Out. Okay. Yep. Oh, the red micarta. That's cool too. I did like that. That's the red micarta. That was really nice. Now, is that the rich light micarta or is it full like woven micarta? Kind of curious because it looked like it was rich light micarta, which is a little heavier and denser, right? Yeah, mini Bug Out. I think my wife, if she had not gotten into Spyderco's, I think mini Bug Out would have been her knife. But she got into Spyderco's and she got stuck. She likes them, which is fine. I mean, that's a good knife. I can't complain, right? I mean, they make a good knife. At least she's carrying a good knife. Her best friend gave her a knife that was so sweet. It really was. I actually did a video on safety because of it, but it was such a sweet knife, and it was really. And we're keeping it because it was a gift, right? But it became a dangerous knife because after a while, the lock bar wouldn't lock, and the knife could slip and cut her. And I was like, yeah, you just can't carry that. You can't use that knife. You can still keep it as a gift because it was a beautiful gift, right? But just, I wanted her to have a safer knife, right? I think that's really important. I mean, I don't care how nice the knife is. If you want to keep it, keep it. But if it's dangerous, don't lose fingers over it, right? Don't lose fingers over it. The dark red micarta. I like that. So the white mini white looks good. Yeah. I know they had that really faint pink one, right? It's like a pastel pink. I don't know. I don't know what the colors are. I'm sure it's a unique color. I'm not good with colors. What's that? Hint, hint, wink, wink. Oh, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Wink, wink. Is it wink, wink? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Yeah, that's from the Monty Python, right? I love that. You take it out of her purse and flick it. I could see that. I've been able to flick her little Spyderco, which, you know, people are like, oh, you're not supposed to be able to flick that. No, you can flick it. You break it in. It has phosphor bronze washers on there. Even with the FRN scales, I can get it to the action where it flicks. You know, she doesn't want to because she always rolls it open, right? She does the roll open. You know, she does that. She doesn't like to. She does a roll open. She doesn't like to do the flick necessarily, but that's all right. You know, whatever she wants to do, it's up to her. Cool. True. Oh man, that's hilarious. I'm actually talking to his wife about maybe doing some stickers for me. We're trying to see if I can afford, because I don't know how expensive it is. I would really love to do them with him. It's just, I suspect it's probably going to be a little bit out of my range right now as a small channel, but you know, maybe. But yeah, he does. Either that, or we should all get together and buy him a giant box of Band-Aids. I think that's the gift. When he hits 10,000, I'm one of his members, right? So I'm a member of Tri-State EDC Cole, and I love his channel. He's so entertaining. Matter of fact, Metal Complex, he loves Tri-State too. It's one of he gets the most laughs out of it. He really, he thinks Cole's going to be the next MC. He's going to surpass him at some point, and I could see that. I really could. But I think we should all get together and buy him a giant box of Band-Aids or a box of chocolate Band-Aids or something. What do y'all think? I think that would be cool. Yeah, it's rich like micarta. That's what I thought, Norman Invader. I kind of thought it was a rich, if I read correctly, if I remembered correctly. But I personally like rich like micarta. Depends on how dense it is, right? I think it's like I think it's a little, the texture to me, I like it better than G10. And I like it a little better than regular, like, now linen micarta is kind of cool. I do like linen micarta, by the way. That's kind of cool. Oh, the 20 CV green Mannix? I didn't know about that one. No, the one I got was a blue one. Where is it? This one. This was the blue one. This is S110V, and I put these rock scale scales on here. And now it's linerless, but I like this. So this is not going to be a beat up kind of knife as S110V steel, right? Now 20 CV would be definitely better for harder use. So that's nice. 20 CV, that's a good deal. Okay, hey, Danny, welcome. Danny, thank you for being here. You have a good night, and have a great Independence Day holiday. I don't know if you're off tomorrow, but if you are, enjoy your day off. And just for everybody's sake, so the question is, if you're all interested, yeah, you're in with it, Tyler Williams. I am too, right? The question is, what's your biggest, scariest purchase to date? And I might have one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We can talk about it. If you're interested, I don't know. Let me find the website. Here we are. And I'm going to find you what I'm talking about. Make sure I can still get to the link. Oh, yes. All right. So this is confession time. Confession time. Everybody ready? This is my biggest one to date. This actually blows away the whippersnapper. And the whippersnapper was pretty big because that was a lot of money. Okay. A lot of money. In fact, I just paid that off. So I did some payments on it, right? This next one's going to take a little while to pay too. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Anybody interested? It's the Trevor Burger Custom Urban XL Dark Matter, and it's purple dark matter. So you can see that. Really, really nice. Now this is the XL version, it's the 8-inch one. I have the little one, and you can see right here, beautiful front flipper, full flat grind, hand satin. This is very different. Everything I've read, all the reviews I've read, this is completely different than it's completely different than like the production knife, right? So the production, I have the little production knife right here. You can see that. That's the Urban EDC, Urban EDC LC, right? Great little knife. I do like that one. Really fantastic. It's a great production knife. It really is. Love it. But it's not a custom. That's a full custom. Oh, hey, Trevor, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what? All right, so I'm going to give you an option that because that's super awesome. For the Cole Band-Aid Fund. Yeah, we need to do that. Let's do that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give you the bagpipes tonight because that's awesome. So you're all ready? Here we go. There you go. But, you know, because it is for Cole, I'm going to go ahead and do a little quick kazoo as well, just for Cole. So there we go. So thank you so much, man. Trevor, appreciate that so much. And yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have to, we definitely need to do that. So I don't know who else of us can get together for that. That's a good idea. I mean, it doesn't have to be over the top. You know, we're not going to buy custom Band-Aids. That would be weird. But anyways, I will tell you, my wife hates Band-Aids, despises Band-Aids. Yeah, you know, what's the point, EDC? I know with you and a couple other guys, we were trying to get him to raid your channel. So I was really excited when he raided your channel. Did he get you over 1,000 that night? Did you break 1,000? Because I think, let me look here real quick. I'm gonna look over here. Let's do that. Where are we? Okay, it's not pulling you up there. All right, I'm not doing this right, so. Oh, because it's all one word, that's why. Okay, that's why. I got to get my keyboard over here because this is not a good angle for me. So if you guys didn't know, for those of you guys who just joined, I actually update. Oh, what am I doing with a slash in there? It's not right. I actually updated my. Here we are. Yeah, 1.1. I figured you got up to 1.1. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That was awesome. I was so excited. Congrats on that. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Yeah, he rated this channel too, and I really appreciate that. Several people rated this channel. Lefty rated this channel, and some other people did, and that's what got us over 2,000. I couldn't believe that, and we're at 2.1 now, right? And we're getting close to 2.2, and we're gonna just keep going, right? We're just gonna keep going, having fun with knives and enjoying it, and talking about knives, and just, you know, there's just so much to talk about. There's so many good things out there. I don't know. It seems to me it's just nothing but up for that. So. And same for you. What's the point? Congratulations, man. That's great. Hey, if you guys haven't had a chance, anybody here, you know, a lot of you guys are regulars. I get it. But if there's somebody new who hasn't had a chance to check it out, I'm going to go ahead and put this in there. Go ahead and check out What's the Point EDC. Go check out his channel. Definitely worth that. And again, all right, so let's go back over here. So I'll talk a little bit more about this because this is confession time, right? This is, yeah, this would be the biggest thing I've bought, and yeah, so definitely making payments. I'm going to be selling a few knives to cover this, right? A few knives that I realized I probably haven't carried. So I'm going to actually this week I'm planning to put them up on navsale.com. So I'll definitely do that for sure. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Now, I will tell you, here's the full story, and it's a great story. I went to Knife Joy. Knife Joy had a version of this, and it wasn't the purple fat carbon. It was just a regular titanium, and it was $100 less, right? And I ordered it, and they called me, and they said, hey, there's some scratches on the tip of the blade. We just want to let you know. I was like, really? And it was really cool. The fact they did a quality check on a knife like that and then reached out to me, I thought that was upright and that was good. And they were willing to knock 10% off. for a first full custom, I didn't want to do that. You know, I really wanted a good blade. I didn't want to be disappointed on camera and be, you know, I didn't want to put them in bad light, but I want to talk well about them because the fact that they were so outstanding in the way they did it, I think that's really says a lot about them. So it was a good experience that they would reach out before they even shipped it just to make sure I was cool with it. So that to me, you know, I just want to tip my hat to those guys, but it made me go over here and give this one a try, which, you know, it's not a bad decision, I don't think. Which one's for sale? All right, so I'll do another post, right? So I'm okay. So I'm debating, and this is not me trying to lure anybody in to become members, right? But I want to extend something to the members, right? But I will probably do a member sale first and offer some things at a member sale price, right? And then after that, then maybe I'll display it for everybody else if anybody's interested, and then we'll go ahead and post it on nav sale if nobody is interested, which could happen because it may be a knife you could care less about, and that's fine, you know, because not everybody likes what everybody else likes, right? You know, that's totally cool. But I may do that. I'm thinking that's going to be one of the offerings, right? You get a little early access to that. If you're interested, does that sound like something that would be, you know, a way to say, hey, thank you to you guys? If you think so, but it doesn't mean that, you know, I wouldn't offer it once they had a quick look at it. I would definitely pass it along to everybody, right? So, hey, pizza operator, welcome, man. I appreciate that. You get the kazoo, so welcome for joining the member. I appreciate that for a nerdy knife enthusiast. So in your honor, here you go, pizza operator. I'm gonna actually zoom in on that for you. So here we go. All right, so we'll go back to the search. So thank you very much. I appreciate you joining, being a member. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Welcome to the nerdy knives enthusiasts. So if you guys are interested, anybody who is interested, there are 3 levels. The first one is, you know, they're different brackets, so they're not expensive. But if you want to be, I don't want anybody ever to feel like you have to be, right? But I want to offer it because people have asked me, and so I did. And you get extra stickers, you get to do some cool things. You get to be part of sometimes some polls. You get to be part of, you know, you get highlights and different things. Depending on the tier, the top tier, they get a special sticker that I'm actually working on trying to get ready for. It's an annual sticker to get once. I'll create a new one every year. If you're a member for a whole year, I'll create a new one for the next year. But then I think for all the people who are members, I might add the early access to look at the knives if you're interested. So that's I think that would be a good benefit. So there we go. But just so you know, if you're not a member, I will let them have a day, look at it, and then after that, it'll be open to everybody else. I don't want anybody to feel like I want to make sure you know that I appreciate every subscriber, right? I have memberships because people ask for memberships, and I want to offer that for those who want it, right? But it never means that anybody who's a subscriber is not a member. You are absolutely important, and I appreciate you. I do. I really appreciate you. So thank you. Lone Wolf, welcome. Appreciate you being here tonight. Matthew Russell, welcome. Appreciate being here tonight. Oh, okay. Pizza operators trying for an Arius. All right. So if you guys didn't know, the question for tonight, and think about it, mull it over for you guys who just joined. The question for tonight is, what is your biggest or scariest purchase to date? Your biggest or scariest purchase to date. I want you to think about that. Some it was a Norseman, a Grimsmo, others it was a arcane design or an arcane design knife. I'm trying to think the name. I couldn't think of it. For me, years ago, mine was, believe it or not, was a Benchmade mini barrage I bought at Cabela's. And it was a knife that was $105, $110, and I bought it on sale for $98. And I couldn't believe anybody would buy a knife for $100. I thought it was the craziest purchase ever. But of course, it's the gateway drug, right? It opened the door for everything. So, you know, we could also talk about what's your gateway knife, right? That could lead to that. But what was your biggest and scariest? So think about it. Don't feel like you have to jump out. But if you want to mull it over and you want to share your thoughts, love to hear it. I just happen to be sharing this one right here. This particular knife is mine that happened this week, and I'm waiting for it. It was supposed to come in. I was hoping it was come in today, but it probably won't be until Wednesday. So we won't have an unboxing for a while for that one. The Arius. All right, Arius. That is, we were talking about that one earlier. I think the Arius is one of those that I would very much like to try to check out. Now, but I've heard it's really big. And it's like an 8.5, almost 9 inches, I believe. But they have that mini Arius that they're coming out with. And that looks really tempting because I think it's like 7.2 or 7.1, or it's around 7 inches, right? Somewhere around there, a little bit more. Oh, you're going to go to the Syndicate for your first knife show? That's cool. Oh, they will have FCFs or a Lotto? Oh, I don't know if they will. I've never been to that one. Now, the Syndicate is, where's that? Where's that knife show? Oh, Pizza Operator, you're trying to get, okay. So Pizza Operator, by the way, I respect that. The Arius, the FSD, the Rosie, all of the above, right? I'm very interested in those. I can really relate to those. I think that's some very interesting stuff to look at. So let's see here. The cold steel Taipan for me. Okay, is that cold steel Taipan? Is that a giant knife also? I'm just curious. You got the Kaiser lead, Matthew Russell. Awesome, man. And you got the R&K sticker. Turning on the toolbox. Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you like it, and congratulations again for winning the knife on the big 2K giveaway last week. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being there. I really do. I appreciate everyone who was there. Thank you. Yeah, the Norseman. The Norseman seems to be like a big gateway kind of big knife for a lot of people. I can see that. That definitely is. That's one. Now I want to look at that cold steel Taipan. I got the feeling that cold steel Taipan sounds like it might be, I don't know, something huge. I want to look that up real quick. Let's see. Oh, it's a fixed blade. That's cool. Okay, let's take a look at that. Oh, that is really cool. It's looks like a double edge, so it's a dagger type blade. 13-inch. All right, that's pretty big. Yeah, that looks like a big boy. That's cool. Now, what kind of steel is that? Does it say on here? Oops. Oh, I don't need a discount. Thank you, though. VG10. Okay. VG. Oh, Sanmai. VG10 Sanmai. So it's a dual. Wait, I didn't see that. Is it? Oh, okay. There's the edge right there. I see that right there along the edge. Okay. Cool. That is pretty neat. And I bet that's not super cheap. Yeah, about 180 bucks. All right. 175. Very cool. That's a pretty impressive fixed blade though. Yeah, I like that. The Arius, I like that. Let's see what else. Oh, it's in Indianapolis. Okay, cool. That's I have some friends who live up there. Oh, so is Tri-State going to be there? Is Cole going to be there? Because he's like right there, isn't he? That would like make sense for him just to go. I mean, it would be like a skip, hop, and a jump, right? Oh, Lone Wolf. 4 Ariuses and 5 Norsemen. Now you're just down to 2 Ariuses and 3 Norsemen. That's good. That's going lean. And I bet there's a lot of people who are kind of maybe a little envious just because they would like one. Who was it on Cole's giveaway on Tuesday when he had a big 7K giveaway? They went to one site where the guy had like 12 Rosies. He had like every variant of the Roosevelt. I mean, that was incredible. It was crazy. Oh, the Matthew Presidio? The Presidio 2. Okay. The Presidio, yeah. That sounds familiar. That sounds like a knife I might have actually owned. I should know this, right? Sad thing is I can't even remember all the knives I own anymore. Yes, I actually owned that. I owned the automatic and I owned the flipper. I had the, because they make an automatic version of this. You all know that, right? I got that one from Blade HQ. And then Sportsman Guide, I got the just a regular, the flipper version. Yeah, and the one I got was, because they make a mini and then they make the large one. That's actually a pretty good price for this one. 171, that seems really, I don't know, that seems kind of low. I don't know, let's see. Let's go to Benchmade store and see what they charge. No, that's a bug outs. Where's the Presidio? There we are. Okay, what? 139? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are these prices I'm seeing here at Benchmade? What is going on here? Do y'all see this? What, they're having some massive sale. Look at the prices here. What? 139? This is Benchmade's. Am I at Benchmade? Am I really on Benchmade knives? Wait. Is this real Benchmade? Am I truly on Benchmade? Makes me think I'm on some kind of spoof site because these prices can't be real. Some of these. Yeah, mine was aluminum scales too. The automatic was aluminum and it had the lock for the auto. I mean, 139 for this right here, that just doesn't seem right. I feel like I'm not truly on Benchmade's website. I feel like I bring the keyboard over here because I feel like I got to check this out here. Something doesn't seem right to me, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. No, that doesn't seem right. There we are, Benchmade. All right, that's better. Okay, all right. Yeah, I couldn't believe those prices. That seemed, you know, my rule is if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I just. All right, there we go. All right, so that's the prices that I was expecting right there. I had this auto right here. What? Yeah, I paid. I was gonna say I paid a lot less for it back then. It was less than $350, but it's kind of two interesting prices there. There's a CF Elite. All right, so yeah, I actually owned that knife. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good knife. It's a good size. The mini is a good size, I think. It's kind of like the Adamas, where the mini Adamas is a really good size. The Adamas is a big knife. It's a really heavy duty knife. Yeah, the Rosie, Patrick. I agree with you. The Rosie. Yeah, I'd pucker up for a Rosie, you know, definitely. If I got a Rosie, I'd probably give her a kiss. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. It's a Rosie. It's a nice knife. If I had to give her a kiss to get a Rosie, I'd do it. Yeah. Be kind of weird, but I'd do it. You paid $200 for that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember when they were a lot less. I don't know. Benchmade's gone up a lot in prices. And I'm not exactly sure. And I don't know if it's because they haven't done a price adjustment in a long time. I mean, I will say their quality hasn't been terrible. It's now, of course, the thin one, whatever they call that, ultra slim, whatever knife, everyone who's had it, it's not been dead center, which is kind of disappointing for a knife that price. You can't sell a knife for that price and not have a dead center. You're going to charge $550 plus. It needs to come out of the gate like one of your gold edition, right? It needs to be part of the gold make, you know, I don't know. Oh, so you're leaning out your collection right now. You have 13 up on Instagram. Okay, so you don't own any doubles. All right. Yeah, the only double that I have right now is going to be my relative, and that's only because they're two completely different style. And this is absolutely my, I don't know. It's one of my, you can't see it. Sorry. Forget. I'm on the wrong camera. Just one of my favorite shapes for flipping in action. So anyways. All right, guys. So I just so you know, I have a new camera set up. If you didn't know, last week I was doing my phone, but this is my actual DSLR hooked up here, and I'm learning how to place it and what to do. And so it's supposed to give me much better 4K images, which I think it does. I think I need to change the ISO settings on here because it's kind of a dark image, I think. So I need to fix that. But, you know, I'm learning. At least I got a camera that's working now, and the lighting is getting better. So, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to be a professional production at some point, right? We all can't be Cole. We all want to be Cole, but we all can't be Cole. The narrows, yeah, that's the narrows. And, you know, I've had some narrow knives. Sometimes too narrow is not comfortable. And I don't know. I'm curious if it's comfortable. I'm curious if the narrows is one of those that feels so narrow, it feels like it's going to roll in your hand and it's too sharp. I don't know. I haven't held it yet, so I don't know. A lot of people seem to say good things about it, but I don't know. Yeah, it's so nice. Buy it twice or 5 times. I hear you. Yeah, for $500, I agree. I mean, quite frankly, here a knife you could seriously consider, and I think you might want to consider, is like a McNeese. McNeese is a great knife. You know, you can consider a Willamette Custom. It's about $5.95. It's a little bit above. You want to get the bottom line version. You know, hey, we were just talking about the Spyderco one. What was that Spyderco one? Oh, where is it? The Spyderco one. I think I had it over here. This is the Arcane design. Did I have it here? Did I go back? Come on. No, I guess I didn't have it over here. But there's the Spyderco one. You know the one I was talking about. That's the $500, $600 one. That one was really cool. I'd consider that more. And so it was comfortable and a good knife. See, that's what I hear, everybody. Tyler, I mean, people, once they hold it, they seem to like it, and they seem to think it's pretty good, right? So, but it's just such a steep price, right? We're trying to, do you get the feel of, like, do you feel like you're getting the value of like a McNeese? Do you feel like you're getting the value of, I don't know, some of these other knives out here? I don't know. I like Benchmade. I like the Adamas, right? I mean, that one I would spend, especially with the one with the carbon fiber. I know that's a little expensive, but I'd pay it just because I like it. I think Metal Complex they were talking about some guy, and he goes, "Is it worth?" He was watching somebody, and I wasn't sure if it was Skelton, Jim Skelton, or not, but they're saying, "Is it worth the price?" And he goes, "Absolutely not." Is it something I would pay that much for? Yes. So, you know, there's that. The Paisan. Yeah, the Paisan. Thank you. Or the Drunken. The Drunken's pretty cool too. Drunken's, it's a unique shape, and I think if you love it, you love it. And if you don't, you don't. I mean, I would love to check out a Drunken. I would probably never buy one. The Paisan is interesting to me. It's very interesting. It's one of those that I would want to experience before I've made that kind of commitment, but I have a feeling I might. So the Umnuzan, I owned one. I loved Umnuzan. I think it's a beautiful knife. It's a gorgeous knife. I mean, it was my, if anybody remember Tim the Tool Time Taylor, it was like my, you know, just feels like just a tough knife, right? And I had the Tonto version, and it was awesome. But the lock bar was so stiff, and it was so sharp, and I couldn't tune it because of that ball. You know, the way they put it in there, you can't tune it. And so I ended up selling it just because I couldn't carry it. And it ripped up my pockets because before I had it bead blasted, it was the sandblasted, and it just destroyed 3 pairs of jeans. And so eventually I ended up selling it just because I didn't carry it. I mean, the Zahn is awesome. I think it's a beautiful knife. I mean, if I collected knives and I didn't use them, if I just collected them, the Zahn I would collect. Absolutely. I would absolutely collect it. Yes. Just because I love the way it looks. It's just not a knife that I feel comfortable using. So the Spartans are interesting. Now, I've handled a few Spartans, and they have almost a, they don't feel as smooth as even a Chris Reeve knife, right? I love the smoothness like of a TRM Atom. You know how you can, it has that drop. I like that. And this is phosphor bronze. I like that. I like how Spyderco, you know, you're able to drop the blade as well. Yeah, of course, let me make sure I do it right? I like that. And I'm okay with phosphor bronze if it has some action where I can do that. The Spartan, the ones that I've handled, the ones I've, and maybe they're not all the same. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but all the ones I've handled, they always seem to be like, they feel like they were made to be a roll open kind of knife. It was meant to be a roll open, or if you were going to flick it, you had to use the wrist. It was like you had to really help it out, right? That was my experience with my Spartans that I handled. And I handled them in several different stores, and they all seemed the same. I don't know. Am I wrong? Oh, so is the, you said your first integral. So is the drunken an integral, or is the Paisan an integral? Okay, so Lone Wolf, that was my experience with the lock bar. If I could tune that detent on the lock bar on the Unumzon, I would have kept it. I would have enjoyed it. But I can't because, you know, I don't know if you guys know, on the Chris Reeve knives, they, you know how a lot of these bars, not this one, let's look at one here. All right, so let's see if I can get this up here. We'll zoom in here a little bit. All right, so let's look at this right here. If you can see in here, can you all see right? Let's go right there. All right. See, go this way, this way, this way, this way. All right, there we go. I am trying to figure it out. All right, you see that right there? There's a little ceramic ball in there. That's a detent. That's the detent. Now, Olamic Customs, they use a real ceramic, like white ceramic ball, which tends to be a little smoother. Yeah, it's not as brittle and as hard as the black ceramic ball. So, you know, it's riskier, but it's so smooth. But their ceramic ball on the Umnumzon is not embedded into the lock bar. It's at the very tip. And so it's over travel stop. So if you could see the lock, go this way, this way, down here. Okay. So the lock bar, back this way. Sorry. The lock bar, there's a little space right here, and the ball is actually in there, and it doesn't allow it to over travel because of their ceramic ball. And so you can't tune it. And that to me was very frustrating. That really was my deal breaker for me. I think if I could tune it, Lone Wolf, I believe, I think that the lock bar that was uncomfortable, it would have been better. It wouldn't have hurt as much, right? Still not the best lock bar, right? I love a chamfered lock bar that's smooth, that works, comfortable to flick and to fidget with. To me, that's just a smart move to do with your lock bar. You really should make a good lock bar. It should be functional. To me, that's what I think. Oh, the Paisan is an integral. Yeah, it sounds really cool. Yeah, it sounds really cool. But I mean, what is it, $650, $695? I mean, I think you really got to know you want it. You either love the shape completely, or you've handled it and you go, oh, yeah, this is for me. I'm kind of like that with the Maximus. I mean, there's not many Rick Hinderer knives that I would buy, but I've handled the Maximus, and it's a weird looking blade, but I'll buy that eventually when they release more in about 2 or 3 years, because that's the next time they'll have a run of those. So does it break in though? All the Spartans that I held, they always felt glassy and they didn't break in. I mean, if it does, that's probably cool. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Chris Webb on the, again, we're talking about the Umnumzon, right? The Umnumzon is not like your typical detent bar. It's very different. The way Chris Reeve does, they put a detent ball on the very tip. So here, let's say real quick. So let's look here. All right. So let me find something flat. All right, here we go. So let's say this is your lock bar right here. And typically the detent ball will be somewhere right here, right? It'll be right in here underneath, and the blade slides over it like that. This part right here, this end of the detent, the lock bar usually has a steel bar insert. It hits the tang of the blade, right? Chris Reeve puts the ball right up here. Okay, they put it on the corner so it sticks out. And so in the frame, it blocks it. You can't go past. And in order to lighten a detent, you have to be able to bend past, usually where you have an over travel stop that you can detach, take it off, and then you can bend it back to loosen it up, right? I don't know if, let me see. You can bend it back to loosen it up, right? You can bend it back. When you have the ball, you can't take the ball out. If you take it out, it's gone. And then you're missing out on the whole action of the ball. And so to me, that's what's frustrating. I can't tune an unwise because of that. So Chris, if you can do that, seriously, I'd like to know how you did it without messing with the ball that doesn't allow you to go past it. Is there some trick? I'm curious. Legitimately, if you know of a trick, some way to loosen that, that would be cool to know. That really would be cool to know. I would love to, honest, legit, I would love to know that, because I've thought of some things where if you had a couple of pliers maybe, and you bend it where the cutout is on the lock bar, and you maybe bend it there, maybe you could do something with the tension there. But my fear is, in order to do that, you'd have to have some pressure on the lock bar, and I'm afraid I would scratch the lock bar. And I don't want to scratch the lock bar just to do tension there. That's why when you can take that little over travel stop off, I'm not using any metal on metal to bend it. And I feel like that's the only place where I could see it, you know, where you could bend it so that you could take that pressure off. Is that what you're talking about? I'm just kind of curious how you would do that without messing with the detent, with that ball on Chris Reeve knives, because that would be super awesome. Hey, Rocky. Oh, we got Rocky joining us here. Did I not say hello? Hello, if I didn't. Oh, if I didn't say hello, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lone Wolf and I, we're like, man, you might just open the door for an unwise for a lot of people. If you can figure, I don't know if you do videos, but man, if you did a video like that, that thing would blow up. Because if you could show us how to do that, that'd be awesome. And I'm sure there's some way to do it. I don't know how to do that to make sure it works, right? Oh, that's my dog barking, so I don't know if you can hear him. Oh, okay, so the guy who did it, he modded it. See, I suspect someone like that, they probably have like some machinery tools, and they probably have some pads on those things. You know how when they work on glasses, they have those padded wrenches and stuff like that, and they can bend this without scratching them? I bet he's got some real customized tools. I don't have those kind of tools. And I wonder if that's the kind of tool that he probably uses. And I don't know, maybe I need to look for that kind of tool. You know, it's got like maybe, you know, some coating or whatever on there so you're not scratching the metal. But that sounds like something he might do. But again, I would really like to know how to do that, because I'm afraid that, you know, I want to make sure I bend it in the right spot. You know what I mean? That would be really cool. So Chef Rocky, appreciate you being here this evening. Welcome. So tonight's, for Legendary Pest Control, welcome. Appreciate you being here this evening. All right, so tonight's topic, if you guys are curious, it is, what is your biggest or scariest knife purchase to date? It could be scary. It could be a biggest, right? And it could be something you bought that you weren't sure about buying. It could be something that was more than you've ever spent. It could be something that you bought from somewhere that you weren't sure you were going to get it. I made an example of several years ago. I bought my first Benchmade, and I bought it at Cabela's. It's a $105, $110 knife. I paid $98 for it. I'd never spent $100 on a knife before. And I thought, who spends $100 on a knife? That's insane. I mean, we all laugh now, right? Because most of us have at least $100 knife. And if you haven't, gotten there yet, you might be there soon. If you're watching this, there's a good chance at some point in the near future, you might spend $100 on a knife. I'm just guessing. You kind of wouldn't be watching this if you didn't have some sort of interest in some of these knives and would like to spend $100 if you haven't done it yet. Yeah, you consider balling out on the edge. Yeah, that would be cool. See, that's the other thing. James Dean, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Welcome. Good evening. Your biggest was the PM2 and the 15V. That's a really cool steel to get. That thing went so fast. I mean, I went looking for it and I was like, oh, it dropped. I want to go. Sold out. So, okay. Well, that was nice. It was one of those. That was nice. All right, you win. I tip my hat to you. And you win tonight. That's impressive. Wow, 5K in 2 orders. Must have been pretty awesome, though. I mean, still awesome, but wow, it's the kind of money I'd like to spend on knives. Bob, come out. We are addicts. Every one of us. We're all addicts. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Okay, so $100 is in my strike zone. Me with knives, yeah. So I mean, again, this could be. I mean, it's all relative to what's your zone, right? You know, for some people, I mean, I know there's a few of you guys here where a big stretch in as far as buying a knife, you're looking at $3,000 to $5,000. Not me, but some of you, it's like $1,000 to $1,500, and then some of us, it might be under $1,000, and some of us might be 500. That might be like the crazy number, 300, 200, or 100. I know the first knife that I bought was my Mini Barrage orange Benchmade that I bought from Cabela's. Never thought I'd spend $100 on a knife. It's just insane to spend that much money. Don't regret it, enjoyed it, and it opened the door for a whole lot of other knives, for sure, at least for me. 2 orders the same day. Wow. You've been trying to win one. Yeah. I did too. I was on Tri-State. If you didn't go on Tuesday night, I got in all of those giveaways. I wanted to win one of those, but yeah, I didn't win. Oh well. Yeah, I figure sooner or later I'm going to win. I actually won a water bottle from Tri-State one time. It took 6-7 months to get in because he kept losing my address. But hey, I finally got the water bottle. The Custom Knives Factory Evo 3.0. They looked really tempting. You had to do the pre-order. Again, you know me in pre-orders. I'm not a big pre-order guy. Pre-orders just don't appeal to me, especially really long pre-orders. That's the reason why I didn't get the Winterblade Co. Factor. I really wanted to, but I tried to get the drop when they had them, but I can't wait 9 months to a year. Yeah, I don't do well in those long pre-orders. I know some people it's not a big deal, but for me, that ties up funds too long for this channel that I'm trying to grow and trying to have stuff. And if I wait that long, then there's other knives I can't review and do, and I feel like it's going to slow down the content. And I try to drop a video every day. I want to at least have something out every day. That's my focus, is to have something out every day that's at least of some value, hopefully entertaining or something. Yeah. Well, hey, Ginger Fisher, that's a good point. Okay, so some of us, when we talk about these numbers, oops, I hit the microphone. When we talk about these numbers, it's not necessarily that we got 5 bills sticking in our pocket and we're just throwing them out there. I mean, a lot of us they're Sezzle. If you have, for instance, I have PayPal where I can buy something, I can pay for it over 6 months, especially a big purchase. I mean, I talked to you about that Trevor burger. That's something that's going to take a few months to pay. I mean, yeah, I could sell all those things and then buy it. But the problem with that Trevor burger, though, is if I did that, by the time I had the funds to buy it, it'd be gone. Right? So sometimes if there's something you want, are you willing to, put it on a payment plan and then pay it off early or something, right? Once you sell what you need to sell. You have one all weekend? Must be 20. Oh man, I'm sorry. $70 is your cutoff. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. What? Oh, she tossed your collection while you were. Oh man. Wow. She just like tossed it. She didn't try to sell it or give it away. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. That aches. It aches in my soul. Aches deep in my soul. Especially with knives like that, right? Okay, so you're selling a brand new Atom, all right, with the carbon fiber wing scales. Yeah, one set of black G10 scales, new extra clip. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, if anybody's looking for an Atom, check out with talk to Lone Wolf. I mean, that's a great knife. I have mine right here. I had the red fat carbon scales on mine. Right, beautiful knife. I put the titanium ones on here. I've had this knife now for three years almost, maybe more. Love the knife. Great knife. Absolute a carrier all the time. I've just done the yard work with the thing. Okay, it's great. Yeah, well, the mini barrage was D2 steel. It wasn't even S30V. I mean, it was D2 steel. And it wasn't even CPM D2. It was D2 ingot steel. But I still couldn't believe I spent that much money on the knife. $200 a month, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Now, the way you can get around that is you buy and then you sell some. You know, it depends on some of us, we collect and we'll never sell, right? Some of us will buy and we'll collect and we'll continue to use, and then we find that some aren't in the collection anymore, and then we'll sell those. And some of us kind of rotate stuff out. You know, it depends on what kind of a collector, user, enthusiast you are. It's perfectly fine, whatever you are. And we can all be at different stages at different parts of our life, right? We don't have to be at the same stage all the time. You know, maybe your kids move out and you're getting older and maybe you have a little more access to funds. You could buy more things, right? When you're younger and you have a lot of kids and you're new in your career and job, you may not have that much money to be able to buy some of those things. And then after a while, you know, you're saving up, and then you have the money to buy the nicer things that you want down the road. And instead of buying something 2 or 3 a month, you buy one every 2 or 3 months, and then you get something a little nicer. I mean, it's different for everybody, right? Yeah, keep it on 190. That's a good point. I mean, you still get a lot of great knives for 190. You really can. And you know, Cheeto Bandito, I mean, I think about it as if there's something you really, really want, I mean, then wait 2 months and buy the really fancy one, right? I mean, then you could spend the $200, almost $400. You can get the really, you know, maybe some fancy, super crazy drop, right? You deserve, oh wait, so I deserve that 5K in knives? Oh, okay. Man, that's cool. Oh, so you put titanium scales on the other Atom, which is where the G10 scales come from. So I have some red fat carbon scales for the Atom, but I'm going to keep those because I like the red fat carbon scales. So I actually plan at some point to switch them out because I really like both scales, and that's one of those sets of scales that I'm going to keep because I like them. And if y'all know, if y'all didn't know about the TRM Atom, so you see these little screws right here, and then the screw over here, right there. That's all it is to take them off. It's real easy to switch out the scales. They're like the Lander, but they're like the fancy USA, you know, really nice version of the Lander that's been around forever. So you got a Concept Fenair S35VN. Yep, awesome. Sparrow knives. Oh, Sparrow. Yeah, I know they came out some really cool stuff. I missed their drop, by the way. And I know who was it? Let's see here. It was James. I think you were the ones that told me about was it you that told me about the Sparrow drop? And I missed it still. So sorry. Feel bad. But really cool design. Yeah, it is really nice. I agree with you. Carbon fiber. Yeah, that's cool. You know, me with knives, we have those ceilings, right? And we kind of say, this is the ceiling that I want to stay at. But there's always an exception, right? There's an exception for something. Are you willing to defer a month or two to get the one you really want, right? Are you willing to, okay, there's 3 knives that I probably want to sell. Then I can get this, those thoughts always come through. I don't know. At least that's what goes through my head. Making sure I'm caught up here on all the stuff here. On the bob. Is that the sparrow? Is that the B.O.B.? Is that the one, the sparrow, right? I forget what it's called. The Strix pre-order? Oh, yeah. That's the one with the real hollow grind, right? Kind of got a, I don't know what kind of blade, but you know what? We can actually look that up. Why don't we look that up? Let's take a look. That's the Strix pre-order. I don't think it's looking at the knife. It's taking me to some routers. All right, so it's probably not this, but I'll share it with you. Is the Strix pre-order, is that on their website themselves? Is it their website? Hey, happy knife. Welcome. Appreciate you being here this evening. Yeah, happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Yeah, definitely. Tonight we're talking, what was the craziest or biggest purchase or knife acquisition to date? Now, it can be anything, or scariest. What was the scariest or the biggest knife acquisition to date? It can be any sort of compilation. It can be 2 different ones. So just think about it, mull it over, and share away. Everyone's talking about different things. Yeah, I'd love to get a Rosie. The Rosie is really, really cool. Yeah, $700. That's rich. Well, $700 is, I agree, right? It's not something I'd go spend regularly. There's a lot of things I wouldn't go spend regularly. But there's things they're grail things, right? Sometimes you have a grail and it's the hunt and search for that thing. And you make exceptions and then you start planning for it. It's kind of like a big purchase. So if you're a carpenter, right, and you use drills a lot, right, or an impact drill, or you're a framer, or whatever, and you could go buy a cheap drill, or you can go buy a really, really nice, drill, a Milwaukee, or something like that. And it costs a lot of money, but that's a tool you would have with you forever, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It's a matter of what's important to you and at the time, right? And that can change. It can change at different times. Yeah, the Rosie resale prices are ridiculous. They are insane. It's just like the bots that go and buy some of these knives and then resell them. To me, that's, I don't know. That's the kind of, I get why it's there, as supply and demand, but I hate it. I really do. Yeah, so the MASH version 2 was in that time frame too. I hear you. Now, there's going to be a new MASH coming out. Kevin's already talked about that, and I'm waiting for that. So, you should guys, keep an eye out for that. I believe that's supposed to be coming in a few months, but definitely kind of a cool variant. I'll let Kevin talk about it. You can go to check out. He's talked about it on some of his live streams. So the Clydesdale. What? The Clydesdale? Is this another new knife I've not heard about? All right, I gotta find this out. All right, so let's look at this Clydesdale. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like it's a slip joint. Is this the one? Is this the Clydesdale you're all talking about? Oh, new breeds EDC. All right, so let's take a look at that. Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, okay. I've seen this. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And it looks like it's 14C28N. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, that kind of reminds me like of MASH. That's in that realm of really good price, and like it's got great steel for good price, but good materials, right? So it's kind of like almost the best of two worlds. Oh, did I pass it? This is not it right here? It's a different one? The Kaiser Mash. Is that Kaiser Mash? That's the button lock, right? Is that the one you're talking about? The Kaiser Mash button lock? Because I believe the Kaiser Bash button lock is the one that he's going to be releasing soon, coming out with. And I think it's going to be a little more premium too. Well, it's not more premium. It's going to be I think it's like 180 or something like that. Oh, you got to hold it at Blade Show for real, Nuga knives? That's cool, man. I know when they talked about it and they showed a picture of it, it looked really nice. Yeah, I agree with you, Cheeto Bandito. That is really a good price for everything. This reminds me definitely. I mean, you're getting into that realm where you get the really good steel, and you get I mean, it's budget steel, but it's really good budget steel. It's like the best budget steel you can get, right? And then you get titanium scales. So I mean, it's just it's a good value. It's a really good value. Oh, it's on point. Yeah, I saw only a quick picture of it because I think was it Colin with Kevin Colin, right? That's his business partner. He showed a picture when he was they were streaming together. They were doing a live stream together, and he did a quick like he did his little like here you go kind of thing, and you could only see so much, right? It's like the same. It's about the size of my window right there, right? So it was hard to see. Hey, did y'all see that he's also making a USA version? Yeah, and that's definitely going to be out of a lot of people's price range. But man, USA, I don't know. I feel like I got to support that. I don't know. That's just I might have to skip a few purchases and sell a few things to get there. But that seems like it would be really cool. That definitely is going to be like a big purchase, right? You got to think about that one and plan for that one. Uh, so what was it? There was another one you guys were talking about. I think I missed it. I want to go back up there. Clydesdale, we talked about. So what's the Sparrow, the Sparrow Strix? Do they have their own website for that? Because I thought they did. There we are. Let's see. There we are. Got it. Yeah, man, that is really nice. And I got to tell you, I know it's way out of my range, but man, look at that. Look at that. Makes me want to play that little meme, you know, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Just look at that. I can't do it, but you know, that is, yeah, that's one of those where if I had the money, I would love to get that. And let's see what's the price for this? It's going to be like ridiculous. Yeah, $680. It's a lot of money. Is it worth 600? Is that too much? Probably. If I had the money, would I buy it? Yeah. Gotta be honest. Yeah, so that mash, I think it's going to be really cool. I think that's going to be an awesome knife. I think that's going to be something that's going to absolutely kind of blow away a lot of things. I really like what Kevin and Colin are doing, man. Those guys are just knocking it out. You know, I got my first pony stout and I was like, do I like it? And I'm like, wow, I really like the pony stout. And then going back over here, you know, I got the Buzz, and the Buzz is so nice. And the action on this thing is ridiculous, right? And you can easily, you know, reach around and everything. You do the top flip and it's a hollow grind. Reverse flick is beautiful. Front flick is beautiful. And because it's Kevin, right? Kevin's doing it. He's got it for, you can do left-handed. Of course, I'm not a lefty, so I did that kind of weak because I don't know. And my clip is right-handed. It's always a little nicer if you have the left right there, right? So it works really, really nicely. So, and I like carrying this one. I like this. This is a really nice knife. And I love the fact that I can choke up and there's even a little jimping there. This is just a fun knife to carry and to use. So I really like what he's doing. Yeah, the Clydesdale does look really nice. Oh, so you're not a front flipper? I got you. Yeah, I mean, front flipper is, some people love the front flipper and some people hate it, right? It's either for you or it's not. And what I've also found is some front flippers are really good and some front flippers are really hard. And then it's all a matter of, you know, I think it has a lot to do with the ergos of your hands too, the size of your hands on certain flippers, because some front flippers can be really hard to do depending on the ergonomics of your hands, and then also how they tune the front flipper, because a front flipper has always got to be tuned a little softer. It should never be really, 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 really hard like like some of the other, if you will, it's like a normal thumb stud or a flipper, right? Those tend to be a little harder detent, right? So that's just my experience with front flippers. And if I want to front flip something, I typically find it's either been tuned a little lighter or I end up tuning it a little lighter so I can use the front flipper if I want to use the front flipper, right? If the front flipper action is really nice and it's easy for me to get to, there's some front flippers that are just not very functional, right? They're just not functional. Like I love my Mini Tempest from Sharp by Design. I got the Bowie, and that's the one regret. I wish I'd not gotten the Bowie. I wish I'd gotten the drop point, because the Bowie had such a sharp tip, it would cut my finger all the time. But this was always the Sharp by Design one I wanted. I wanted the Evo Typhoon. This was always the one I wanted, and this was like the Grail Sharp by Design one I've wanted since it first came out. And I was so excited when this dropped. I didn't even know it was dropping. It was like a surprise, right? You know, but this is perfect. And I really, really, really like this. And I'm absolutely 100% convinced that my Mini Evo there was something up with the nub detent. I think it was. And I think in reality, when Brian offered me to send it to him and for him to fix it, I probably should have done that. But I wasn't sure. I thought it had to do with the weight of the blade and other things. But yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. And it was perfect. Oh, I think okay. So my messaging on my chat in my app is completely frozen. So I'm way behind. So if you're wondering why I'm not talking, it looks like it wasn't loading. So I don't know if I have to reload it or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna follow on my iPad here. So it's gonna be off to the right here a little bit. It's a little smaller font. So if I look down trying to read it, that's why. Yeah, so the buzz is the one that has you can reach around, right? You can reach around, like I can go around like this and flip it like that. And then what I like is I just put my thumb down and I just go back, right? So if you just move it forward quickly, it'll go. Or you can actually kind of slow roll it, but it does hide, right? So you really got to have a little bit of speed on there, and it locks up really nicely. And it's not your traditional front flipper like, do I have a front flipper out? Yeah, like this right here. So this is a traditional, like Trevor Berger, he does these front flippers. Now, he tunes it well. So if you see the leverage is above the pivot. And when the leverage is above the pivot, that's the best type of action you're going to get on a flipper. Even like when you do these flippers right here, the finger's down here, but if you notice the leverage right here and the way he works, he gets the leverage. If you look at the physics and kind of if you know how you work a lever, it's almost like he brings the leverage of that flipper above the pivot. And that's why this works so nicely as well, right? I mean, I don't know, I don't remember the exact physics of it, but that's the idea, right? I used to study physics and remember this stuff, but that's so years ago. I do coding and stuff now instead. So haven't thought about it in a long time. And those of you guys who do that for work, if you're engineers, then you can explain it to me. The Clydesdale, yeah. So pre-order the Clydesdale. It's definitely a unique. It's got a unique shape to it. It's sort of like a meat cleaver. Let's go back to it. It sort of has the meat cleaver look, right? Let's see. Can we expand that? Let's zoom in a little bit. I mean, I love the handle. I do like the deep pocket carry clip. It's a flipper and it's above the pivot, so it's definitely going to give you some good leverage. It's got the thumb hole, the cutout fuller, if you will, for reverse and front flicking. But what I find interesting is this blade shape. This is like a cleaver type blade, and it looks like it's a hollow grind. I'm guessing it's a hollow grind. Is it hollow grind? Does it say? Does it say if it's a hollow grind? I don't see it says it's a hollow grind, but it looks like it might be a hollow grind. Do y'all know if it's a hollow grind? Pizza operator. I spent more money on worse things. Hey, I agree. You're right. I mean, it's cool. It's absolutely cool. It's got a unique. See, that's the other thing. I got to look at some reviews. That's the other thing. I haven't seen anybody handle this, so I'd like to see their reviews because I wonder if this choke up point, if this little cutout right here is a good thumb placement. So like when you're doing a precision cut, so like when I do up here, I can choke up. Will your finger or will your choke up? Will it choke up right here like this? Is that where your thumb will fit into? And the same thing on the groove, right? Will it fit there? Kind of like. this little part right in here. You know, is that where your thumb goes? I'm kind of curious. That to me is what interested me, because then this is a design intentional. It's kind of like the Devo, right? The Devo pony stat when you first get it, or you know, that shape of that blade looked weird to me. But then I realized, wait a second, that fits really well. Just like here, this fits really well, and that pony stout fits really well. You know, and that's what I'm wondering. Does anybody know? It's a flat ground. Oh, he's changing it to hollow. Oh, that's cool. Adding jimping. Okay. That's cool. Hey, oh, that's what it was. Somebody just I don't know, that reminded me, but somebody mentioned the Chad. I don't know if they're still here. They talked about they did the pre-order for the Chad. I saw Kunwu post about that. Man, that really, that cost way more than what people paid for the Chad. They took a hit on that one. Now, because it looked like were all the clips Timascus? Is that what I saw? And I guess it was a Rockwell hardness, getting it way up there to what were they up to, 69? Did I read that correctly? They said they had the Rockwell hardness at 69. The Buck Hill Line XL. Okay. The B for Baron. All right. Hey, B for Baron. I don't know if I said hello, but welcome. The Buck Hill Line XL. Let's take a look at that. Buck has come out with some really interesting stuff that really surprises me. I mean, you know, I like this week, somebody loaned to me a Buck 112 auto. I was pleasantly surprised with it. I mean, Buck is never my cup of tea, but it was a lot better than I expected. And so I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know, it's definitely a Buck. It's definitely like a 110 and the 112 is really a 110 that just happens to be automatic. Everything about it is like a 110, except it's automatic. But it's not a bad knife. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Brass Pro Shopping. Let's see here, sportsman.com. Where is a good place to check? Well, let's go to Buck Knives directly. All right, that's kind of a cleaver style also. I see that. We got ourselves a cleaver. I wonder, I'm just trying to see, is that hollow? That looks like a hollow grind. That really looks like a hollow grind, is it? Let's see here. Sheep's foot, okay. I say it's slicey, so typically that means they probably want to do a little hollow. I don't see anything. Oh, product specification. Let's see if it says on here. Oh, they don't really note that. Do you know? Do you guys know if it's hollow grind? Yeah, being made overseas. That's unfortunate. That is. Well, it's like Kershaw for a long time. Kershaw was struggling, and then they started working with Hogue. And some of the Kershaws are coming out are not bad. I mean, you know, I really like the live wire. This is my favorite OTF. For the price point, I'm not a big OTF guy, but this is it. This right here is exactly what I want in an OTF. Everything, size, shape, comfort, and action. And for what I would get comparatively from maybe Heretic or Guardian Tactical or Microtech, this feels like what I want more at a better price. But I'm hoping Buck will do that as well. Minus the clip. Okay. Yeah, that clip. Well, you know what? It looks like one of those generic clips. You could probably get like a replacement clip. You know, it looks like it could be, you know, measure the screw length. And is it inlaid? Is it inset? I can't tell. They show the back. Is it reversible? Oh, okay. It's reversible. So there's an insert. That's interesting. So it, you know, maybe you can get a replaceable clip. I don't know. Yeah, I still like that. You're talking about the jimping and all that stuff. That's cool. Another one. That's really cool. I think that's kind of nice for sure. All right. So anybody who hasn't spoken up yet on what is your biggest or scariest purchase to date? What is it for you guys? You guys have anything you want to share? Is there something? Okay. So if you've already shared, how about what are you looking at that might be that might take that trophy? Is there something that might take that trophy? I mean, I can tell you, I think, like, for instance, Tri-State, he bought his Herman. I mean, that's probably more than his FSD. That was probably more than his Hinder. It's more than several of his other knives, I suspect. Yeah, Kershaw has a solid US lineup. I'm really impressed. Yeah, the leak, the blur, absolutely, the launch. Yeah, the launch series, that's really, they've done a really good job. And the live wire, I mean, I'm still blown away by the live wire. I got to be honest with you. That just really surprised the heck out of me. The Yojimbo. Yeah, Yojimbo. I think I got a Yojimbo, and I didn't like the Yojimbo, and I didn't know there was a difference between a Yojimbo and a Yojimbo. And it was just ridiculously big. And I thought, nah, this is not for me. And then I realized there was two sizes. So maybe I got to try that again and try the smaller one, the Yojimbo. Because I always thought I had tried the Yojimbo, and it turns out when I look back at the order and I returned it, because where I bought it, I was like, as soon as I got it, I was like, what is this? And it felt like a large Recon, like a bigger Recon 1 cold steel, right? In my hand, at least, with the shape and it felt like my fingers needed to be in certain places for the shapes and the contour of that Yojimbo. That it meant I felt like I needed really big hands. I think the Yojimbo would work really well with my hands. Oh, the Avant. Oh, you bought that. Or the Gun Gear? Okay. The Gungnir. Oh, I don't know what that is. All right, I got to look that up. I refuse. Strix. Yeah, the Strix is really cool, for sure. I'm trying to catch up here with Carco. My answer would be I refuse. I'm trying to follow what you're talking about, Carco. It sounds like, I don't know. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you, Tyler, on that. I mean, by far, in my opinion, probably the best USA good value, best bang for your buck has got to be Hogue right now. Seems like Hogue is really knocking it out of the park. They're kind of, you want a good priced USA made knives, I think Hogue is sort of on top. That, it seems to me, for the price and the value. Okay, the Renegade EDC gun gear. All right, so let me take a look at that. All right. So Renegade EDC. I might make sure I spell it. Gun. Is it G-I-E-R or N-I-E-R? Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. I can kind of dig that. That's interesting. Yeah. I don't hate that at all. I love the hollow grind on that thing. Now, my question, has anybody handled it? And does the fuller work? To me, the biggest frustration is you get a knife with a fuller and you can't use it. I got to be honest with you. It was one of my big disappointment. Is the fuller like on here, on the Sharp Eye Design Evo Typhoon? It sort of works. I can kind of get it to work. I suspect as I break this in and the detent nub breaks in and becomes smoother and smoother over time, I'll probably be able to get the fuller to work. I could absolutely get it to work on the Mini Tempest, but I can't get it to work on here. Can the fuller work on that? I'm just curious. Does the fuller work on that? You have to let me know. All right, so your Deka. Okay, what is that? I love my Deka too. So, okay, I don't know this knife. I feel like I got to look this up too. All right. So, oh, wait, we got somebody joining. Tactical Terry 79. Welcome. Appreciate you joining tonight. Brian Kennedy. Appreciate Byron Kennedy. Excuse me. Welcome. Double D Tent. I don't know if I said hello, but welcome, Double D Tent. Appreciate you being here. I want to make sure I said hello to everybody. I think I missed a few of you guys, so sorry. You could flick off the fuller. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. To me, that's important. I mean, don't tease me with a fuller. Don't tease me with a fuller. The fuller is serious business. You know, if you're going to put a fuller there, sometimes it works for aesthetics. Like, that was kind of I was bummed with arc form, the dark form, arc form, the one I had. The fuller I couldn't get to. That was really disappointing because it sure looked like you could be able to. All right, so what's the one I'm looking up? It's what is the one we were talking about? I feel like I got distracted here. Like that movie where it's Squirrel, right? You know, I'm getting Renegade EDC. No, that's the one we just looked at. What was the one we were talking about? Oh, the Deca. Oh, the Deca. Oh, the Hogue Deca. Yes. What in the world was I saying? I forget how to talk. All right, confession time. We were playing a family game, and it's one of these games where you got to say a word and you got to figure out what the word is. And I don't remember what it was, but all right, my word was, okay, I'll tell you what I thought it was. Spatula. It was spatula. For some reason, I looked at it and phonetically spelled it, not realizing it was spatula. And I did spatula. All night, I couldn't stop laughing because I called a spatula a spatula. And to this day, if I grab a spatula, my wife says, "Hey, don't get hit by that spatula." I can never. For years, it's followed me now. But that's all right. My son, my oldest son, he calls Godiva chocolate. He calls it Godiva. So I never let him go on that one. So we all have something that we say that. But I don't know why I said Deca. Yeah, the Hogue Deca. Yeah, okay. Sorry. The forward choil, yeah, that looks too small for me. I couldn't use that. That would be, I want enough to put my finger in there. I just need enough to get it in there. I mean, even on the TRM Atom, you can get up there, and there's enough jimping you can get up there for that. But I need that back part, the trigger guard. If there wasn't a trigger guard right here, I think that would really help out. I think if you could if somehow the flipper, let's look at some of the previous pictures. Let's go one more. Where it's closed. Come on. Did I have a closed picture? Oh, I don't have a closed picture. I want to see what the flipper looks like out. If they could make that flipper a little smaller, that would be cool. Yeah, the Hogue Deca. Thanks, me with knives. Yeah, I apparently can't read. Sarsaparilla. Now you're making fun of me. Thanks, Cheeto Bendito. I appreciate that. Yeah, it wasn't meant to, I agree. It wasn't meant as a finger troll. I totally get it. It's a sharpening troll. I get it. But some people like to put their fingers in there. They'll look at it as like a trigger. They'll like choke up on the trigger finger, you know, whatever, trigger guard. People like to choke up when they're trying to do precision cut. Everyone likes to do that, right? They're always looking for that. But that knife definitely does not look like it would really, truly, truly be a place you could choke up safely, right? And that's the way I look at it. Yosemite or Yosemite, but it's Yosemite, right? It's like up in Massachusetts, there's Peabody. Everybody looks at it and they want to pronounce it Peabody, right? But it's Peabody up there, even though everybody else would pronounce it Peabody. And there's a place called Gloucester. But if you look at it, everyone wants to pronounce it Gloucester, but it's Gloucester. So, you know, everyone has a place like that. Yeah, full finger troll would be cool, especially on a big hefty blade like that. It would be nice. What's the handle length? Okay, the blade length. Oh, that's a big boy. Oh, okay. I can get why it's not a finger troll, but you're right. With a big blade like that, you might want to have a finger troll to do a precision cut. But that is a big knife, 9.34 inches. Okay, so quite honestly, it's not a knife that I would probably buy because it's a little bigger than I care for it, right? I don't typically get knives that large. That's, you know, I mean, even my Exciton, it's almost at my limit on size, right? Here I'm okay. If I do choke up on it, it's almost too big back here, right? But this is right at my limit. And I think this knife is, let me see what this one is. Is it, yeah, it's 8 3/4 inches. So it's close to 9 inches. This is about the longest knife I have. But if you got big hands, you got XL hands, double XL hands, this right here is absolutely a knife you should consider. I think you would really enjoy this. Someone with very large hands, this is really looks like a great knife to consider because you have definitely plenty of room. And I like the shape, the contour shape right here of the handle. That's really nice. And it doesn't force your hand to be in there. It looks like as large as that is, you could probably get 2 fingers. Probably roll 2 fingers in there, or you could roll 1 finger over here. And you know, it just looks, it doesn't force you absolutely with a really deep groove where you couldn't move your fingers around. So I don't know, it just seems like it'd be really good for larger size hands. Yeah, it's a big boy. Well, you know, some of a lot of the subscribers here, you know, you guys have all said, you know, you got some people have XL, double XL, triple XL hands, you know. I mean, imagine Shaquille O'Neal holding this knife. It would look like a 5th pocket knife for him. I mean, his hands are gigantic, right? So, yeah, Worcester Mass, pack you can have it, yad, right? Gotta have that Boston accent. I actually used to live up in Tewksbury. I worked up there at a company, and it was right next to Andover, so it was up there. So. That's cool. All right, so me with knives. I was kind of curious when you were talking to Tyler, which knives were you talking about? That sounds interesting. Interesting conversation you're having. Oh, Kershaw. Okay. Is that what you're talking about? Was the Kershaw knives? Yeah. Did y'all see that Kershaw drop that they had? That exclusive titanium scaled version? I forget which one it was. It's a knife that they make over in Taiwan. So it's like the better Chinese version, right? It's not like China. It's more Taiwan. Which, you know, that's where the 80-20.5 and like the Spyderco, Smock, and so a lot of really good, well-production made knives are over there. I forget which one it was, but that thing sold out so fast. It looked pretty cool. It was a good price from what I gather. There is a knife made just for Shaq. What is it? The Recon 5, the 12-inch one? I don't know. Oh yeah, the gun gear, Gungnir pricing, yeah, for sure. All right, so anybody else? What are some of the other big knives you guys have? Scariest, biggest purchases to date, or knife acquisitions to date? We had someone earlier who bought off of bladesforum.com with someone with very few reviews. And that's always scary. When you buy, if you're buying secondhand and you buy from someone who doesn't have a lot of reviews, that's risky. That is really risky because you don't know, right? Especially if they have very few feedback. But once they have some more feedback, you know, it can be much better, right? Or was it oh, there's another knife they were talking about recently. Sorry, I'm gonna look on my phone real quick to see if I can find it. It was on Instagram, and I can't get Instagram logged into my computer, so I got to figure out what I'm doing over there. Man, that Roosevelt. Yeah, I really would love to get a Roosevelt. That would be cool. Oh, where is it? Come on. Can I find it? Yeah. Oh, did anybody get that new Kaiser? Original XL. Has anyone had a chance to handle that one? That one looks kind of interesting. I've been really tempted to try that just because of the price range that it's at. That just looks kind of cool. Okay, I can't find it, so I don't want to waste you guys' time. I was hoping I could find it really quick, but it's not popping up for me. It looked really cool. I should write these things down, right? I should plan better. I should write things down like this, not have to work all day. That'd be great if I didn't have to work all day. It'd be nice if we didn't have to have, we actually have to work and make a living, wouldn't it? Well, then we wouldn't be able to buy knives. Then we wouldn't have this time to talk about knives, right? Oh, well. I guess it's, you gotta sacrifice to get there. Oh, the EMPC from a YouTuber. Oh, okay. Tyler. I just got that. Was that really scary? I'm sorry, man. I apologize. I thought it was a pretty good purchase. The knife was like immaculate. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying with the 110, 112. Yeah. I versus attracting younger folks. I agree with you. Yeah. That's unfortunate because, you know, you can stay true to it, but if you can revamp without losing some of the originality, right? You can still keep the tradition without, you can still hold on to that without losing it and still trying to not like you're giving up on it. You're just trying to make it relevant, right? In the sense of as a functional tool for today. So if you didn't know, Tyler bought my EMP EDC Nimble X. I sold that to him. So it's a knife I bought, loved it. It was really cool. I did a few videos on it, never carried it. And I realized, yeah, I'm not going to carry it because I love the Nimble. It's a great knife. It's a super great fidget tool. Well, it's a toy too, but fidget tool. And it really is. If everything about it is cool, but I don't have little thumbs. And so it caught when I did the flipper, and it was enough that sometimes I would catch on my nail or something, and and honestly, after they released the relative, yeah, this was it for me, right? And so as soon as I sold that to him, I bought my second relative because I replaced it with the relative. That's why I have two. Also, the fact that Tyler helped me, you know, he bought that one, so then this justified me getting a second relative. If you can get a hold of one of these, I still think, my personal opinion for what I like, just for me, I think this is EMP EDC's best knife they've made to date. And, you know, every one of you can totally disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. No problem. I like that one. You brought the Tough Gear Puzon 9. Okay. Next grills are the Spartan Defensa and the Heresy Folder. Okay. Yeah. That's some big ones. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's absolutely. Oh yeah, Trevor. So now, do a lot of your knives get stuck in custom? And if they do, does that mean it never makes it to you, or it takes forever? Or do you get a fee, or does it get shipped back, or does it just get seized and it's gone? I'm just kind of curious for Trevor, because that just sounds really not cool. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to describe it. Just really not cool. Bench or the 110, I choose one. Yeah. Well, you know, it's crazy. Someone that loaned me some knives, man, I shipped them back to them, and I insured it, take pictures of it, right, and taped up the box and everything. And they got the box, and it was open. So I'm going to have to file a claim with USPS. That's why I insure my stuff, because two of their knives were gone. The package was ripped open, and the mail person came up and gave them the box ripped open. It's like, really? Really? That's what you're just going to give them an open box? That's insane. So we're going to have to try to work through that claim. I hope it's not a nightmare, but man, makes me mad. Makes me feel like I got to duct tape boxes now. I just need to duct tape them, you know? That's crazy. And that's in the USA. That's not even going to California, by the way. That's in the southeast kind of part of the USA. That's crazy. I was given advantage as you can't flip it with, you know. My hands aren't big. I had the same thing with the Recon One, and that's only because it's such a big knife. But I can understand that because, you know, I mean, I don't have small hands. They're medium large, right? So they're large widthwise, but medium lengthwise. They're not small hands, but they're not gigantic hands. I get that. But with the Recon One is a big knife for me. Yeah, it is. It is insane, and yeah. I have to agree with you, Tactical Terry. I'm going to have to start doing that because I always taped every seal point, but it's just regular tape. But at some point, I feel like I've got to do more. This was the first time this happened to me, and it really ticks me off. It really ticks me off because, yeah, it's just wrong when people do that. That's just wrong. I mean, Tri-State, you know his story. He lost his malice. He had his Wii malice, not the mini malice. He had a full malice. He shipped it in to somebody to do some custom work on it. And I don't know, when they shipped it back to him, it got stolen. He had bath salts and soaps or something in his box. Like they just took everything out. Insane. Yeah. So, I mean, I tape all around where the seal goes because I use the USPS flat rate boxes. I tape all around. I tape on the seal. I tape around the top, and then I tape the label, which then tapes around there. And so it's multiple layers. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I want to look at the pictures. I suspect the label is not my label that I put on there, and I can tell if it's my label. So I wonder if that's the case. Then it seems like there's something bigger going on there. I know in California they had a big bust. I don't know if you ever saw it. There's some great stories on there, and I should probably look it up. And I know in Apex Group we talked about it, but they had a huge bust where there was a whole ring of several hundred United States postal worker employees that were in on a scam to steal, and they were just ripping everybody off left and right. It was insane. So if we want to talk about some insane knives, and you want to see what Cole got, I've gone here a few times because I've debated this. Uh, it just looks interesting, right? This is the one that Cole got. He got this one, a Tri-State EDC. He got this. I can say it correctly. Vespertilio. It's a little Warncliffe one right here. So I think this is one that he really wanted to have. One of these guys right here. I think it's cool. Now that's not the price you're paying. You're actually paying this $849 plus shipping. So yeah, you got to pay the exchange rate and some other things and some other tariffs and taxes and whatever other things you got to pay. But anyway, so that's the one he has. It looks like it's not that much, but the one that I would love to get is I would like to get something like one of these guys. I think, is this the one that's 7 inches? About 7.5 inches? Anyways, this is like not intelligent spending. So, if you want to be frugal and wise, don't look at this stuff. No, this is the big one. That's not the one I want. The one I was looking for is, that's the slim. It's not the Ishtar. These are really expensive. All these guys right here. I don't know if you guys have looked. Anybody here own a Herman? I think one of you guys I know had a couple of Hermans, right? Yeah, he got it off a NAV sale. I don't know what he paid for it. I don't know if he paid full price or not. I assume Hermans usually resell really well. I thought. Maybe they don't, but I thought they did. Oh, so you have to have the blade disassembled in a whole different package for it to get through? That's crazy, Trevor. That's just crazy, man. I do believe, I know. Oh, it was only, no way, Tyler. Seriously? That's all he paid for it? 4 to 450? Really? I wish I'd seen it before him. I would have stole it from him. I'd have happily stole it out underneath his feet. Wow. Wow. That's ridiculous. Wow. Why can't I find something like that, right? That's crazy. Wow. All right. I gotta start looking at NAV sale regularly. Oh, you got to crank it down so it doesn't open? Really? Oh, okay. Because like some sort of gravity drop rule or something like that? Is that the law or something? Wow. What Lefty pays for 2 packs is what I pay for 1. Well, I will say, I've been shipping a lot of packages with sales of knives, borrowed knives, and Apex groups, and I got put into the USPS budget shipping thing. I get a little percentage. It's a little bit cheaper. It's not much, but it's a little bit cheaper just because I guess I shipped enough boxes and I've spent enough on postage. I guess after a while, if you spend a lot of money on postage, they kind of like, we'll treat you like get you a little business discount or something, I guess. So that's helped. Saves $1 on shipping. So that's nice. I mean, insurance is exactly the same price. They don't discount the insurance. So, but it's still nice. I'll take $1, especially if I'm shipping, 30 packages a month. So that's $30, right? That adds up. Oh, one-handed opening. I got you. So it's kind of like Canada, right? So you have to have sort of like a slip joint. It's got to be two-handed sort of thing. Oh, they're about to drop one? Really? Oh, we got to go look. We got to go look. You seriously? I've been tempted to go there quite a few times. Really? Okay, well, not that. Maybe that. The Slim is a little big. The Ishtar, I think the Ishtar is pretty big too. Isn't the Ishtar like almost 8 or 9 inches? Where is it? 8.5. Yeah. Okay, that's a little big. I guess it would be like the little M398. That would be more reasonable. Well, 794. That's pretty good, actually. How big is that? I think it's like 6 inches. 7.0. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, but it's not 450 or 550. I'd take that. I would love to have that. You think they'll knock off $300 off of this for me? Probably not. Cannot be open with one hand. Well, I know in England, they have to have slip joint. It's got to be everything's slip joint up there, and it can't lock open, right? That's the big deal. I think there's other countries too that have some weird laws. Like you ever watch the Dutch brothers, right? They do their they're talking about Amsterdam changing some of their knife laws too, which could change their whole channel, right? If they do that. I hope not, but could. Let's see, what's the drop? Yeah, 7 days. The drop is in 7 days, by the way, on those Hermans. So 7 days and 13 hours, by the way, right there. So if you're curious. Well, that's cool. That's nice. Yes, I have. Nougat knives, I have handled a Winterblade Co. Matter of fact, part of the Apex pass around, I got a chance to handle the Factor, and I spoke to Brian Winters, who's a really nice guy. After I did my review, and then I did my unboxing, my review. He thanked me for the review because I loved it. I love the knife, and I definitely want to get it. I was trying to get the B2 version when he had some extra ones, and they were doing pre-orders for the B3. I just couldn't tie up that much money for the 9 months that you had to wait for the drop. Just couldn't do it. It's just, I needed content for my channel. That much money is several knives, several reviews, several things. And it's just, as a young channel, I don't have that much extra funds to tie up for that long period of time. So I was just grateful to be able to handle one. I can tell you, it's a fantastic knife. I love it. Absolutely love it. I actually have a review and an unboxing if you want to check, if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, great knife. I would love to get the B3 when it comes out. There's a NAVSAIL one, really? Oh, cool. Oh, so real quick, if you guys didn't know, let me go back over here to YouTube. I'm gonna go here to the channel. I'm gonna go here to our site, and I'm gonna go down here to where are we? More. And here's my little link. If you didn't know, yeah, NAVSAIL right here. If you use this link, you don't have to buy anything, but if you click on this link, it helps the channel. I get like, I don't know, I think I get a couple pennies every time you click the link, just looking. Even if you buy nothing, it just helps the channel. So if you wouldn't mind, consider using it. But if you do check it out while you're watching the live stream or anything, maybe just use that link, and I can go ahead and share that with you guys if you want. But I would appreciate it because it allows me to, do more things for the channel. Maybe someday I can get enough saved up so I can get that, do that pre-order for a Factor or something like that. That would be really cool. Oh, I've got somebody in my family on here telling me turn off the on-air light. I'm sorry. I'm live streaming and I have a little sign that says on air, and they're asking me to turn it off. So excuse me 1 second, guys. I gotta reach down here real quick, grab this light, see if I can get it. Hopefully that turned it off. So that's my way of saying, hey, I'm doing a stream. So I guess they're watching a movie or something. What you get for doing a Monday night stream on a holiday when they're all about to watch a movie or something. Hopefully that turned it off for them. Oh, it's not off yet. See, there you go. Let's see if that worked. All right. The Vesper is too small. All right. So what we were looking at, oh, the Vesper Tilio. You think it's too small? Well, it's 7.2 inches. The handle close length is 4.2 inches. Let's see. Do you have the full handle? Yeah. I don't know. It seems like for me, it might work, but let's look at that. You said the Factor. There was a Factor over here. Let me look at that. Oh, there it is. All right. What did it ask? 450. It's not totally crazy. And it's a batch 2. Let's see. All right. Titanium. All right. It's got the blue insert. It's got the regular steel insert. Looks like you got everything there. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. Like new in the box. Okay. I might just go over here for just a second, only because I might make sure you guys can't see that, right? Yeah, because I might log in real quick. Just for a second. Because I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that's something I might want to look at. So if one of you guys are about to snipe me, that's all right. If you do it, that's fine. If you get it before me, I'm okay with that. But let's take a look. Okay, I turned off the light, by the way. I think they're happy. So that's nice. I'm not in trouble with the family. What you got to do during the holidays, right? When everybody's home, they're watching movies, no one's going to work the next day, kids don't have school. So there you go. I am trying to get to my link here. So if you excuse me 1 second, because I'm doing something, I'm probably not making a wise decision here, right? I'm making unwise decisions. I think Tri-State Cold calls this making poor decisions. So you guys are helping me make poor decisions. So I want to thank you for that. Oh boy. Yeah, you can't see. All right, so let me bring it back over here. Let me do that. Yeah, it's all weird right now. Where did my thing go? Where did you go? Did I close that? I guess I closed it. All right, so let's go back over here to half sale. We'll open it here. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Sorry. I am looking at this. So that's what I'm looking at. Will enable anytime. Yeah. Oh man. That looks really, it's pretty cool. So I'm logging in real quick. And poor decisions. Well, that's really expensive shipping. Oh, no. Okay. That's because that's overnight. All right. Sorry. Small font. I can't get my reading glasses to read. What do we do? What do we do? That's not too bad. All right. It's $5 extra to get it here 2 days early. Should I spend an extra $5? What do you think? Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about NavSale here in just 1 second. I'm going to close this out here because okay, because I'm doing this on my phone. Typically, I don't do it on my phone, so it's a little small. All right, so what? Oh, all right. Sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm trying to make a purchase. So I know. I'm sorry. I'm kind of hanging out there, making a bad decision here, and I'm starting to feel guilty the longer it's taking me. So, sort of feeling guilty. I don't know. Yeah. So if some of you guys who've done that stuff, you might want to mention it out. So basically, what happens is it's you buy used knives, you post it up there. They actually, you have to ship it through them. They let you print the label. Person pays whatever shipping they want to pay, right? So you either pay for your own shipping or you offer free shipping, but you tell them exactly how you're going to ship it if you're going to offer free shipping. And you say whether it's US or international. and they take a percentage, but they also take the risk, right? They take the risk of dealing if if there's some issues or whatever. They cover all of that, so it's like insurance. And to me, to know that you have a dealer, a broker, so to speak, that's reputable, I find it more reliable than dealing with bladeforums.com. Though I've done a lot of sales there. Okay, it's always risky. I found this to be way more reliable. So that's my thing. You can sell and you can buy there. All right, I'm logging in now. Ooh, well, do we do it? What do you think? You tell me. Do I do it? Press it. I press it. Yes? No? Best part of any decision. I know. I can't believe I'm the person making the bad decision here. But you guys are bad influence. All right. Did it. All right. So here we go. You ready? Let's refresh the page. All ready? Item is no longer available. Guess you know what unboxing's coming. I can't believe I have now officially. I've been baptized in the live stream, haven't I? I have done the poor decision. I feel bad, but I don't. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it's weird. Anyways. Save yourself $25 and buy a gun gear. I bought it. Nuga Knives, I bought it. It's mine. I sealed the deal. Well, I can tell Brian now that I actually have one. Because he said when the B3 came out, I might have been able to borrow one from him just to do another review, to look at the last one or one of his other ones, which I thought was really cool. He's a really nice guy. So he's someone I really wholeheartedly enjoy buying his products. Thanks, Nuga Knives. You helped me make bad decisions tonight. I appreciate that. I don't know if we call it bad decision. We just call it, something there and looked really good, and we went for it. And I just kind of went beyond my threshold of sealing there. So there we go. Welcome to the dark side. Luke, I am your father. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is a nice one. I will admit, though. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Not bad at all. I do like it a lot. I do indeed. Very much so. Yeah. So I handled a very similar one like this, and I did like that. And if you notice here, it even has the other pivot. So I can replace this pivot out if I didn't want that. And I don't know if I can, I don't think I can replace that. But I do think I can ask him if I can get the carbon fiber overlay. He might sell that or have it available. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I still like it. I think it's cool. Green's cool. There we go. It's no longer a borrowed one. It's now an acquisition. All right, so I guess what 2 or 3 knives am I selling now? I guess that's more the question. I got to go look at my inventory now and make that decision, right? Oh, yeah. Well, so okay, so I've sold on here. I've sold 10. Well, I've sold 12 knives. I only have like 10 feedbacks because some people don't ever provide feedback, which really is annoying. Because I go out of my way to really try to provide feedback for them, and it's a bummer when you sell something that's really nice and they don't give you feedback. You know, because you really go out of your way to make sure it's a good sale, and you provide the pictures, you go into details, but they don't. Oh, hey, wow. All right. Well, thank you, Tyler Williams. Man, that is amazing. So I got to ask, kazoo or the Scottish bagpipes? Actually, that deserves both. You get both. All right. Absolutely both. So here we go for the Scottish bagpipes. All right. You ready? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Congrats on the Winterblade Co. Good night, y'all, for you and your Tri-State Safety Fund. Thank you. So, and this is because you got to go. I'm going to go ahead and quickly do the kazoo. So here we go. All right. You ready? Let me zoom in here. Oops. Got to make sure I got the mouse over here. Here we go. Thank you. So, if you didn't know what this is right here, this is the Scottish, I call it Scottish bagpipes, but it's really the throat pipes. So when we first started the first live stream and we had memberships and we became monetized, I didn't have anything special to celebrate the people donating. And so I played the Scottish throat pipes. It's because, you know, when you're in high school, college, and you're drinking, it's one of those things you learn maybe when you had a couple of beers with friends. So anyways, it's basically you like that. And so if anybody's curious, that's what that is. But I did this because all night long I did it so much, by the end of the evening I could barely talk. So I figured I had to save my voice. In case y'all want to know what that is. Thank you, Tyler Williams. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. You are awesome. Yes. Oh, the KME, yeah. Well, there's two things you can do with your hinder, right? Two things I might recommend. One, you could look at someone who could possibly buff that out. You could pay someone. I mean, it may cost 60, 70 bucks to buff it out, right? But if they do a nice job, it could bring your value back up significantly on your hinder. That's just think about it, okay? Ask someone, you need to ask around people, especially who can do that. Second of all, the other thing you could consider is you could sell it on nav sale, but just realize you're going to take a pretty good hit, depending on how scratched up it is. Some people are real particular. They want like new in the box, like never cut, never sharpened, right? If you sharpen a blade, for some people, it drops the value significantly. You know, I understand that, I guess. If those who are collectors and who want that knife in their collection and never use it, I understand that. People who use a knife and want to use it, I mean, they want it in reasonable shape, right? So you take a percentage for that. So those are two avenues you could explore, depending on how bad the scratches are. And I would have to look at it to see it. So if you have an Instagram account, you want to send me an Instagram message, I could look at it, right? And I could tell you, say, hey, you might want to consider reaching out, like the knife modders. There's several other people who do this, but they could probably repolish, they could buff it out, some of that stuff with their machines. You want someone who knows what they're doing, who's really good at that stuff. And that might be an avenue you could explore. I don't know. What do you guys think? What does everybody else think? It's an XM18. Okay. What's the steel? Is it 20 CV? Do you have is it the G10 scales or is it titanium on both sides? That's a big deal, right? Is it one with a flipper? Is it one just with thumb studs only? And what kind of scratches is it? Is it just is it on the scale itself? Like sometimes if you use like the XM18, if you use the KME, sometimes you go scratch the scale, or in here you'll scratch the plunge line. That could be a big deal. You could scratch this really bad. I can tell you, when I first started using some of the sharpeners, especially an XM18, I didn't get the right angle going in like this, and I scratched the heck out of in here. And so that happens when you first learn, right? Especially, it's a bummer on an XM18. I did that on a ZT 562 a carbon fiber. And that was a real bummer because it's a $300 knife, right? And I lost like $100 on the value in mine because of that. But had I known about somebody being able to polish up the blade, I think I could have probably paid someone maybe $30-40 to polish it, and I probably would have only lost maybe, I would probably lost maybe $50. So in the end, I would have probably lost 20-30. I would have lost less. I would have not lost $20 or $30 more than I had. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, warranty. Yeah, that's another possibility. You could ask them if they could do a polish there too, but I don't know how much they charge. They might charge you for that. I don't know. Yeah, and does it have? Is it the one that you have the? Do you have the? You have the Kate ceramic ball bearings, the phosphor bronze washer, and the Teflon washer as well? Is it that 3? I forget what it's called, but it's got that little emblem on the flipper part. Is it one of those? Well, I'm not necessarily talking about a regrind Nuga knives. I was thinking more of a like just a polish on the outside, because they could do like that's cheaper. Like a regrind is riskier. They have to take the entire knife and all sorts apart. A polish, if depending on how much the scratches is, where the scratches are, they may not even need to take it apart. They could just tape it off and they could just buff it, right? That's possible. I don't know. Well, if you paid $450 for it, right, and you're going to try to resell it, depending on how bad it is, people might lowball you and want to offer you $200-250 for it, right? Maybe $300. That you might get that. I doubt you would, depending on what the scratches are. But if you polish, you paid the $60, you might get the full $400. Just a thought. But again, you might ask some of these guys and say, hey, I have this, I tried to sharpen it, this is what happened. How much would you charge to polish and buff out these scratches that I got from my KME sharpener? They might give you a price and say this much, and it might be worth it. I don't know. It's a Triway. That's what it was. Yeah, Triway. I forget. My Jurassic was a Triway. Now I didn't see if you said it earlier. Did you scratch the handle at all, or was it just the blade? If it was just the blade, that's one thing, right? Okay, so Nuga knife, there is something else you could try. There's what is the stuff called? There's that polish grease that you use. I mean, I used it for phosphor bronze washers when you try to polish them. You guys, those of you guys who are here, if you remember, can you guys maybe share the phosphor bronze polished washers? Yes, thank you, Fitz. You might look into that, and that you could probably, since it is, you said it was stone washed. I mean, again, I don't know. That's something that you could consider. But if you have one direction, you work at one direction, the stone wash is going to be deeper etched probably than your scratches. And if you can buff it out to the point where the scratches match the stone wash, you just get the top layer where you see the lines, it could blend in with the stone wash. That's what I'm thinking. If you want to try that. I just think it's worth, if it's very noticeable and it's very bad, that might be worth an effort. I had a knife that I did sell where the clip was scratched. It was a titanium clip, and I buffed it out, and it looked just like new. And quite frankly, it allowed me to get almost normal retail. And it was very minor. I mean, it was like, because I wore it, and I think I bumped into the chair, but it was enough that it was noticeable. So, but I was able to buff it out. Then it looked exactly the same. I was actually going to buy another clip because the clip would have been cheaper for the amount of money I would have lost on it. But I was able to do that, and it worked out okay. Just my thought. But it's, it's up to you. It can. You can take off the stone wash. It all depends on how much you need to do to get rid of that, right? And that's the question. So if it takes a lot, then you might. The other thing is someone who has a shop that does stone wash and stuff like that. If the scratches is just stone wash, I mean, they could run it through their stone wash machine, re-stone wash, and that probably get rid of a lot of the stuff, and then just resharpen the blade, because obviously the blade's going to have to be resharpened, and then that might work too. It's up to you. I just giving you some ideas to try to get you the best bang for your buck for that, because I mean, people who buy this, they want to be able to use it right away. They don't want to have to do all of these things that you're doing. But if you do that, I think intrinsically you would get more money out of it. Just my thought, because a hinder is a very much in demand type of knife. And if it looks in somewhat good shape and you're willing to do all of that, and it looks, I think you would be rewarded for that. Just my thought. Everybody else, what do you all think? What does everybody else think? You think I'm wrong? Just my thought. I don't know. Maybe everybody else is kind of cool with it, but you know. Well, hey guys, I think we're past 10 o'clock. It has definitely been a long night, but hey man, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Nuga Knives, let me know what you do. If you want to, send me a message on Instagram, we could look at it. I'd be happy to look at it if you can get me a nice shot with a little reflection and can see it. I mean, it could be very not noticeable that Fritz might actually work, right? It really could. Just to think about it, because remember how stone wash is. It's dense into the steel. It actually literally nicks and scratches into the steel. If you're just getting a top layer, you're going to smooth it out. It may still look exactly the same, Yeah. I mean, and when I look at the picture, and we might just say, hey, I don't think you need to do anything. I think it's absolutely not going to. They may ask to take a couple of bucks off, but I don't think it's going to detriment your amount, because there's some people who are going to want that XM18, and I don't know what you paid for it. If you paid $425 or $450 and you sell it for $450 off, even with a couple of scratches, people will buy that if it's not horrible, right? And if it's not horrible, they may not care. Oh, you got one of the Smoky Mountain Knife Works one? Cool. Yeah, they had some big drops recently. They are really cranking out a good amount of those knives, which is nice. But I suspect they've been cranking out very, very slowly. I think they've built up their inventory for a big drop. I don't think they can sustain that drop. So it looks like a lot right now. So people who have hinders are probably like, oh, I got to I don't think that's going to be sustained, that amount. I think they'll have big drops like this, but they'll be intermittent. That's my opinion. I would like to be wrong, but I think so. Okay, so Nuga Knives, that's kind of what happened with me with the Maximus. I wish I'd bought it. Man, you did what I wish I had done. Oh well. Yeah. And Nuga Knives, if you want me to look at it, I can tell you if I think it's a big deal. I've sold a lot of knives, and I bought a lot of knives, right? So I could tell you I can tell you my experience from scratches. I sold a lot of my Benchmades, and I know how much I lost on some Benchmades, because there are Benchmade collectors who'll buy anything, and there's some who'll buy well-used knives. And I can tell you how much typically, and I know it's not the same, but I do know hinders looking at it when I was selling my Jurassic, trying to understand what the value of it was. And I agree with all the other ones, what they're saying. $50 might be very appropriate if it's not major. Yeah, happy 4th. We got to wrap it up. So happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Thanks so much for everybody being here. I really appreciate you guys being here for the live tonight. We'll try to do a giveaway next week. I'll try to wrangle something up for that one. We'll see. I might have to donate some plasma to pay for the bad decisions tonight, but thank you to everybody and all the generous gifts tonight. I really appreciate the new member. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Really, really awesome live stream. And we'll talk to you next Monday. And obviously throughout the week, you'll definitely be seeing an unboxing here very shortly. You all know what that is. So you guys have a great evening. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Enjoy some time with your family. Rest. Have a good weekend. Good week. Bye, y'all.